Okay, here we go.
Cut.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we bring you Horror Vacui.
The interface boots, and the blue glow from the monitor really shows the particulates not being filtered from the ship's air. Your hands are greased and smudged as you type your grandmother's name into the Never Lost server. As it searches, you catch a glimpse of your reflection. What do you see, Justin?
I see a man in his 30s, a scar going across the right side of his face, tan skin, and greasy hair. He hasn't showered in maybe 3 days. Bags under his eyes. He hasn't slept in maybe 3 days.
Your name's Xavier, right?
Javier.
Javier. Hello, Javier. It's good to see you again. The voice has the same timbre, pitch, and weight, but something is missing. At least the thoughtful, ever-patient eyes are familiar of your grandmother.
Abuela, how are you today?
Most of your interactions with your grandma are algorithmic iterations of what her personality should have been after 72 years of data collection, mixed with Never Lost's AI. So you tend to not ask the questions that you really want when you speak to her, but stick to familiar stories that you know are hers and not the AI's. Like, why did you upload to Never Lost? What was Earth like before Vacui? What should I do without you? What questions do you ask today?
I ask her, Abuela, why did you stay on Earth? Why didn't you come back to...
So your abuela answers you, knowing that she chose to stay with the dying Earth for as long as she did. She didn't choose to go on where many people did, and she lived her life until her 72 years old, and she refused to go to Pontus, which is the new place in Exodus where the majority of the human population are now living. She has uploaded herself to Never Lost, which is a server full of the memories and data of people who couldn't afford or weren't willing to leave Earth as it decayed and died. Instead, a portion of their consciousness was supposed to be uploaded to the server. Some people argue that it was only nearly 5% or less of their consciousness. Other people said it was up to 80%. What is your belief? How much of your abuela is actually there, speaking to you now?
None of my abuela is there.
And yet you tend to speak to her frequently and you ask her these questions. Maybe it's just a way to remind yourself of your heritage, or it's like reading a journal maybe for you.
Tell me about the time that you met my grandfather.
Well, that was when I was much younger. We were very idealistic. I remember the sky was still blue then. And I know you never heard them, but the birds used to chirp in the morning outside our door, and it was a happier time. Your grandfather, he wasn't as handy as I was, and often our crops would die, but that was okay because we were together. Now, I miss you so, and I'm glad that we can be together on this Never Lost server. I'm glad that I've uploaded myself here so that way I can still talk to you face to face. I warned people that this was going to happen. I did. Your grandfather knew as well. Your pappy used to notice changes. He'd say, "Do you hear less birds?" He'd say sometimes, and I didn't notice at first, but as the years went on, there were less creatures in the sky. There were less animals in the wild, and our crops did worse and worse. But compared to other farmers, their crops were decimated and ours did okay. And I think it was because we had love and care for the organisms and what was left of the earth. But the soil died, and so did the planet. And Mother Nature becomes angry when we don't take care of her.
I did not learn too much about the process of what happened on Earth. Could you tell me when was that this happened, Abuela?
Well, I didn't see the worst of it. People were just leaving the Pontus when I was getting older. So as the earth decayed, people were not taking care of the soil anymore, and it just, organism after organism, ecosystems faltered. The microbes that lived in the soil, they died out, and when that happens, we can't feed our population. When that happens, our oxygen, it gets depleted, nitrogen takes over the atmosphere. Our world died because we ate it to death. We didn't take care of it. We didn't put it back. We didn't put back the care and the love that it needs to thrive. And I always thought it was an interesting combination, you know, creation and entropy. The dying of things and creation. And everyone thinks Mother Nature is this beautiful, loving thing, and she is if you take care of her. But if you let entropy win, Mother Nature can be vengeful in order to survive. And that's when Vacui, you know, came along, at least so I'm told. I mean, I didn't see it, but the disease, the organism that ravages everything that's living in order to propagate, in order for Mother Nature to continue on. It's fierce. It's like all the power of a hurricane or any other natural event put into the single organism with a desire to live more than anything else. But there is hope, and that's why I gave you that necklace around your neck.
See?
The seeds, yeah, right there. Justin, can you open up the two first pictures that I sent you? One is called Interface.
Yes.
I just want people to get an idea of the dark, dingy place that you're working right now, looking at this monitor and speaking to your grandmother from beyond the grave, really.
Here we go. Oh, wrong one. Here we go. The first and second one.
The first one is the interface, which shows the dim lit space that you work, your workstation.
Yes, okay. And then the second one is, let me just, I should have downloaded this.
It's okay, we can continue on.
When you can, just share it to the Discord maybe.
As you continue with the conversation, your grandmother seems to lose track, and she seems angry a little bit, but then she goes on this tangent, seems really out of character. I hope you're drinking plenty of Vacui water to keep you healthy. I drank mine for 72 years, that's why. And you realize that it's an ad that's now taken over what's left of your grandmother. The Never Lost system has these advertisements that come in, and your ancestors and dead loved ones now try to sell you things. Vacui water is kind of a source of energy and not a lot of food, but it's got kind of your essential minerals and vitamins in it. People tend to drink this instead of actually eating proper meals. The ad continues, and you decide to leave and turn it off because it's not worth listening to anymore.
I shake my head. I was, for a moment there, when she was talking about the Vacui and the what happened to Earth, I felt like maybe there was a little bit of my abuela in there. And I thought it was amazing. It was just as I remembered her. The passion, the drive that she had when she talked about her projects and her life on Earth when she did come to visit us once on Titan.
It was your grandmother was an amazing woman. The fact that she was able to be one of the last people to take care of viable soil still on Earth. She was able to actually grow food longer than many others could, and it's something significant for you to actually have any seeds that are still worth keeping and possibly viable. But she refused to leave. She would not give up on Earth. In fact, everybody's given up on Earth. They call it ash now. They no longer call it Earth because nothing's really left there, except for the Vacui disease and the people who weren't lucky enough to leave. It's interesting because the name they chose for Titan, the outpost that's on Titan now, where most people live is Pontus, which is the son of Gaia, and a lot of people think that's an interesting Titan choice, being that Gaia is suffering so greatly, and some people think dead. As you leave the interface, you walk through the ship, and you feel the creaking hull and the vibrations of it moving at great speeds. Harlan.
Mm-hmm.
The cracked upholstery that covers your seat has yielded to years of abuse. The flashing warning light for decompression in Cargo 6 has a piece of tape over it that reads, "Maybe." You take notice of the deep thrum of your ship's engines, a sound you forget so often, except when you disembark and begin to miss it, or when it sounds a little off. All is as it should be. You're in the place you find most comfort. It's been a few hours since you left Iris, and any minute now, your ship will warn you about atmospheric entry back to Ash. That is what they call Earth now.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at your overhead monitor, you open your personal files. Which do you look through? So your job files. Do you look through your ship's layout and overall systems? Do you look through perhaps a more personal file?
I look around my shoulder for a moment and see if Javier is woken yet. When I spoke to him last, he was taking a short break from the pilot's seat.
You haven't heard Javier. You look down at a monitor and you see Javier is walking. Actually, he's looking right now at a monitor, and you know him from time to time to log in to speak to his people in the Neverlost, and you can see he's occupied, so you feel fairly secure.
So sort of with an eye over my shoulder, I turn back and I reach up to my personal files and I swing over the monitor that sits chest height and I scroll down to...
So you have the first file that says Reclaimer Repairs. The next one is Job Files. And the other one is Javier, File 3. Oh, I'm sorry, Sarah, File 3.
Yeah, Sarah Emerson, my wife. And hesitantly, I go to click it. My finger hovers over the pulsating blue light of the screen for just a minute. And then I press it. Half nervous about how I'm going to feel about it, half nervous that Javier is going to walk in and see me looking through some old file.
There are many files in here, many keepsakes, pictures of you and your wife in happy times. What do you look like in those pictures?
Hiroyuka Kaneda is about, right now, he's a 40-year-old Japanese-American man with a thin mustache, goatee, and sort of greasy black hair that he keeps most often under a toque that he wears. He's a gruff, quiet, decisive man who's been captain of the Asteria, for as long as he's owned it. But in these pictures, as he scrolls through, his fingers sort of listlessly combing through the scrollable mouse wheel, he is 10 years younger and happy. His face is clean shaven, a young pilot working for the same corporation that he was working at when he met his wife, Sarah.
In fact, one of the pictures is you and your wife standing in front of your ship at the time. It's not the Reclaimer, it's not the Asteria that you're flying now. It was a different ship, a less worn, functional ship.
It was the Mockingbird, as Sarah dubbed it. It was a black, I forget the type of ship now. It had elongated wings, sort of a cockpit. That
I think the
would
model
rotate.
was called an Avenger at the time.
That's right. But she'd call it the Mockingbird because it sort of had the outline of it, the shadow of it, when it would lift off from the sun, just had this perfect bird-like shape. And I remember every time before we actually worked together, her seeing me return, she'd look for that shadow on the tarmac and wait for me. And before I realized it, there's sort of a wetness to my eyes as I wipe them and click on the picture to close.
And as you close the picture, you see one more file there. It says the last transmission. And you know this to be a very tough one to look at. This transmission is one that's sent from your partner, Sarah, your wife, Sarah. It was recovered from the last time anyone saw her.
I reach down to the small cubby in my chair and pull out a headset, plug it into the console directly, so it doesn't play over the loudspeakers. And as I press play, I watch it again as I have 1,000 times.
You see a low-quality transmission from your Sarah's helmet, her comms, her communication. Slight distortion of her face from her helmet's visor lens. I can't believe what I found. Imagine years of searching. It was here right where it all began. Looks like a hell of a storm is headed my way, Harley. I will probably need to take shelter in the cave for the night. Don't worry. I have a perimeter set up and found a pocket of breathable air. I should be fine. I'm sure glad you flew me. Kaneda would have gone against protocol and flew headfirst into the thing. The camera changes perspective to point of view, and Sarah shows the storm headed in. A wall of rust-colored sand, and the sky is opaque. I found it in those caves. When you come get me in the morning, Harley, it will blow your mind. An extremophile with fungal characteristics, possibly an emergence of cavernous ecosystems. I was thinking of naming it Votum hydinellum, hope mushrooms. 2 minutes until atmospheric entry. You hear the cabin door open. Your partner, Javier, enters as you close the files, but one thought flashes through your mind. Why was it that you didn't fly her on her last mission?
It's because of the fight that we had right before she left. We had flown every mission before that, and she was called away. Something from higher up said that she was supposed to go, and she discluded me from it, and I was angry about it, and I said some stupid childish things that I regretted the day after.
She mentioned in that last transmission that you would have flown right into that storm to try to get her out. Do you ever think about that?
Yeah, I do.
You feel a hand on your shoulder, and I say, "Hey, better strap in, brother," as I sit down in the chair next to you.
Hey, I'm already strapped in.
Oh, shit. That's a change.
That's a change.
It's 2 minutes to atmospheric entry. Javier, it's usually your protocol to look through the ship to make sure you're in good working order before you do any substantial maneuvering, especially within atmosphere. You sit into the co-pilot seat beside Kaneda.
Yep.
And you open the file that says repairs. Still 2 drones are functioning. 1 is missing. 2 are not functioning at all. And 1 is with limited operation. Log date is 1 week ago. Decompression in cargo 6 is still having a warning light. It's still broken, at least the warning light is. You're not sure how bad it is, and it's tough to know if you actually have decompression in that cargo. It's been 2 years now since you repaired that. Aft hull shielding is down 26%. The salvage claw is still in optimal functionality. Your weaponry is offline because it's been sold. You haven't had much need for that type of thing. You do have a few very unsubstantial weapons just in your nose guns. And there's a floor layout so that you can see the whole ship. What kind of ship is this, Theria?
It is a reclaimer class, Aegis Dynamics. It is a large salvage ship with an extendable claw just below the pilot's seat and 2 large thrusters on either side of the ship. It has an entire bay dedicated to grinding and processing materials that we take from discarded ships lost in the universe. We can bring them into the cargo bay, strip them down for parts, grind them down for metal, and sell that. And that's what we've been doing. Sort of garbage men of the galaxy.
Justin, can you please show the picture of the reclaimer on the Discord to make sure people can see it?
Sure. I'll get that queued up.
Is the reclaimer...
Here it is.
So you guys are still doing a job very similar to... So that's
the inside.
That's where your workstation is, Javier.
Okay.
Do you have a ship from the ship on the outside? Can you show that to everybody?
Getting that as well.
You are doing a job like many that you get. You get a lead about where there's a salvageable ship, and you're really mining for precious minerals, metals that you can be used after leaving Earth. To get to Pontus, it was a huge distance, and you need a substantial amount of energy. And so what they've started to do is they've started to create a Dyson sphere. Are you familiar with a Dyson sphere?
It's a... No, I'm not. Canada is, but I'm not.
Okay, so Dyson sphere is where they try to take every ounce of energy,
Mm-hmm.
all the energy from a sun by wrapping in it completely, putting a sphere around it to absorb all the energy. It's a huge engineering endeavor to take on, and
they're trying to make it at Pontus?
They're trying to make it around the sun right now. So they're making this around the sun in order to get enough energy to travel actually beyond Pontus. Right now they're using what little energy they can get from a 30% completed Dyson sphere to get to Pontus and back, and for all the functionings that are taking place on that planet, including feeding thousands of people. But their ideal is actually to go even beyond it. They think that they have a planet that they can terraform even further, but they need extreme amount of energies to get there. And so hopefully this Dyson sphere that they're calling Iris will eventually provide that for you.
There, I just posted a bunch of pictures.
Perfect. So the idea for you guys is that this job is like any other. You've been given it coordinates for where there should be an ex-military ship that hopefully that you can take the adamantine from it, go back to Iris, sell it, and continue on your life.
What type of ship are we looking to salvage?
This one is an ex-military.
But we don't know the type.
No, not until you haven't had an identification. A lot of times your leads are touch and go. You know, they're not always the most trustworthy. People aren't really, there's a cutthroat kind of business to try to get these things, and they keep it on the hush-hush. And you were lucky enough for one of your contacts to give you this information, Marcus Aurelius, in fact. A message pops up in your monitor. It is from Marcus Aurelius about another job.
Another job besides this one?
Yeah, it seems like another job after this.
And I chat back to him. Marcus Aurelius is one of my sort of contacts on the dark web, so to speak. I pay him a certain amount of the cut that we get from a lot of these salvage jobs to give me first right of refusal on a lot of these jobs. And it's sort of a bit of a trust. And I message him and I'd be like, what sort of job is it?
So you guys are... Marcus Aurelius comes back and types and says, well, if you're still alive after breathing all that Vacui dirt, you need to come see me. I have a job that you don't want to miss out on. The money is great, he says. But more importantly, it could involve Sarah.
And immediately, I sort of tilt the screen a little bit away from Javier. A lot of the time, because I'm the captain, I don't really involve you in this. You're sort of happy to be, along for the ride and get paid good money, but I try, and extremely nervous in this case. I kind of tilt it away almost immediately and start clacking away at it. What do you mean, Sarah?
I can't tell you too many details. Not over this dark web. You never know. You never know who's intercepting our transmissions. But what I can tell you in person. So come meet me. I'll be frequenting the Iris scaffold 62C for the next day or two. So if you do finish that job that I gave you, then make sure you come out and see me. I'm curious about it as well.
And I
What's that about?
Think for a second. The job we're on, it's not gonna fly. Someone else got there first.
Oh, no shit. We were right on that one.
Yeah.
Justin, can you roll for me?
What am I rolling?
Against my bluff.
Yeah, against his bluff. And we'll get... you know what? Let's see what you roll. I'll say it's a difficulty of level 4.
All right.
So I need a 12 or higher
I only got a 3.
Okay. So it
whatever
seems a
you
little
say,
odd
boss.
because usually you guys do your due diligence and you go down to the planet and make sure that everything is, salvaged out, even if you do believe someone's got there first. But he's in charge. He owns the ship.
Just as long as my next paycheck comes in, I don't have a problem.
You know all your paychecks are going to come in.
Yeah?
And
What about the last one?
Hiroyuki sort of gives you an arched eyebrow. Your last one was double what we normally make.
That being said, you know that there's a lot of repairs on your ship right now. And even just the fuel to get back from Ash to Iris is going to be fairly substantial in your wallet. Your ship is not in the nicest working order. And if you don't have this money come in now, things will be harder for you, but doable. It just, there's a cost to run such a big ship.
My eyes float back to the words illuminated on the screen above me, Sarah. This is about Sarah, and Marcus has signed off by now. And I sit there debating, knowing that the money will help us, but if the idea of Sarah is on the just beyond my reach, back on the Dyson sphere that they're making, getting there means that I could see her again. But I breathe through my thought. Hiroyuki is, again, above all things, a fair leader, and realizes that despite his initial feelings towards running to Sarah, without the gas to get there, without the fuel, without the repairs to the ship, it's possible that they could run into a similar situation that Sarah is. If she's stranded in the middle of nowhere, they could be too. So he takes another second and says,
To be clear, Sarah's been missing for several years.
No, for sure.
Okay.
But any sort of lead, he's going to jump on. And he doesn't know what the heck's going on. So it's just sort of that impulsive nature that we all have for a loved one. But he breathes through it. No, sorry, I read that wrong. It's still down there. And we're outside Earth. We're near Ash.
Yeah, you're on your way into the atmosphere right now.
So it actually is, the crash salvage ship is on Ash.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So most of the salvage is coming from Ash, and there's some mining that takes place on asteroids and other planets. But
Raiders wise, how many is it sort of barren on Ash, or are there typically
it's a tough gig that you guys have. In order to, everyone's after adamantine, and this seems like it's a pretty big haul, so you guys have your guard up for sure.
Yeah. So I turned to Javier and said, no, sorry, I was wrong. I misread that. I'm a bit screwy. I haven't gotten enough sleep.
So what's the information again? It's a United Earth credit, or United it's a military grade ship?
Yeah, it's a military grade ship, crashed, same job as normal, harvest adamantium, get the fuck out before they
Rumor
dump
has it it's a Gladius, a fairly mobile ship that was used it was the go-to ship of the military.
United Soul Confederation?
Yeah. Single cockpit ship, but it would be highly armed, highly defendable, so it was probably made mostly of adamantine, which is one of the few metals that can sustain extreme heats. That is obviously necessary when you're trying to make a Dyson sphere.
It's also crashed, so that means we're going to have to go on foot. Maybe use the tumbler.
That's an option. Usually you have a couple other choices as well. You could use the claw and the drones as well to salvage pieces and bring them back. However,
they're typically in space, though, is it? Would it work on land as well?
Yeah, they have thrusters just like anything else. They're not made for atmospheric flight, but you could burn up a lot of fuel to make it work.
So Kaneda sort of stands up, takes his toque off, and leans over sort of the cockpit as the curvature of what was once Earth comes into view, and he turns to Javier and says, all right, so I'm thinking, let's go down low, give a scan, see if there's any blips or any frequencies whatsoever, and then we'll make the judgment call from there. If it seems quiet, I think we should go on foot, maybe use the cyclone or the tumbler, get some of that out by hand. Otherwise, I think the claws need quicker.
I thought you said you were buckled up.
I just unbuckled.
Oh, okay. And Javier smirks to himself.
Yeah.
He wasn't buckled up.
Kaneda shakes his head. Again, he's a very serious man, sort of. He respects Javier, and his humor is much appreciated. But you you often can't even tell that Kaneda appreciates it as much as he does, as he sort of turns away and smiles to himself at the shit Javier has given him. He was raised in a very strict family. The idea of, like, you know, his father being the person in charge of things meant that he was raised with high levels of discipline, and expects that to an extent from the people he works with. But he'd be lying if Javier hasn't brought out a side of him that is so much softer and more lenient than he ever expected.
Maybe something that you haven't seen since you lost Sarah.
Yeah, definitely. It's probably something he fights because of how much it reminds him of the way he was with Sarah.
The voice of the ship comes on. Atmospheric turbulence in 5, 4, 4, 4.
And I slack it.
3, 2, 1. You feel the rumble of the ship. As you come into the atmosphere, you see a desolate wasteland. Nothing but this amber sand and dust covering everything. And as you get closer and closer to the ground, 1,000 meters or so, you start actually seeing little blips along the surface of the planet. You notice them to be people randomly walking around the planet. You know these to be Vacui, infected. You're getting closer to the coordinates. Javier is typing in on his console, and he's navigating for you as you're keeping an eye on the horizons. Can you guys do a roll for me to see if you can scout anything treacherous as you approach the location?
What are the details of the Vacui virus?
Extreme amounts of caution and warning. You haven't had too much experience with it. You've just been told to stay away from it as best you can. But you have seen a few things. In fact, Javier has seen probably more than you have. Being that Javier actually... Javier, where did you work before you worked with Kaneda?
I worked for the United Soul Confederation.
Any job in particular that would have had you
tough gig.
Come in contact with some Vacui, some of the infected?
Oh, sure. We got sent in to clear our Vacui a couple times on Ash.
Before they actually
not easy, but they're pretty predictable.
Before they knew how Vacui spread the disease, they used to actually send in these goon squads, with blowtorches and try to clear people out and things like that to try to get resources. They realize it's too dangerous and not worth it anymore. The simple exposure to someone with a Vacui and the microbes that are just taking over their being, their bodies, will jump to somebody else. They just need to come in contact. So anybody who deals with Vacui needs to be in an EVA suit, needs to be completely isolated from them. Just completely, any living organism will be taken over, because it's just like an extreme version of Mother Nature, right? It just wants to exist. Earth wants to continue. And so Vacui is kind of just like the last leg of Earth, just trying its best to spread and exist.
Interesting.
There were a couple of situations where I never actually have been down on the planet, right? But there were a couple of situations where people had gotten back on ships after being exposed.
And you had to clear those out.
Yeah, the USC has a very good communications and are monitoring even us right now, most likely. But they can tell who's leaving the planet, and they have to be inspecting, making sure that people who leave are clean.
Absolutely. They sterilize everything. If ever it's going to go to Pontus or even Iris, they need to sterilize it completely. They're not particularly violent in the sense that they're not trying to kill. They're just trying to expose more organic matter in order to exist and further and reproduce. So the Vacui are not likely to rip you apart unless it's a means to get at what is living within you. And those who are infected with Vacui, their skin, they look almost normal, except for their eyes are more animalistic, more of a no thought, just watching you, aware of you. Their skin has this kind of vascular red tinge to it. Who did a roll to see if they...
I did 15.
Your monitor flashes to show there's a heat sink. There's a sand dune not far away from your location, and there's a heat sink. There shouldn't be anything out here.
Javier, why the hell would that be the case? And I point at the little monitor, my sort of finger pushing it slightly as I press it with authority.
Oh, well, I don't see it.
It's a very minor amount of heat that's being put off. It could be a number of things, but it doesn't seem to be. It's a very low heat sink.
What could that be?
Low heat sink on planet Earth? Or ash? That's where it's coming from, right? It's coming from
It's
near your
planet's
coordinates.
surface?
Yeah.
Near the coordinates. Well, I mean, Gladius has a very powerful core. It could be that it would take weeks, maybe even a month to cool down completely if it was running when it crashed.
From
Does
where
it
the heat
look
sink
like
is
a
coming,
ship signature?
it looks like. Do another roll for me. What was your background? You were a pilot. Right?
I'm a pilot. I know ships.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
do.
know engines.
So I'll lower it for sure.
You're the engineer, right?
I'm the engineer, yeah.
Yeah, so you know sort of the makings and the metal and all that kind of stuff. I know how to fly them. So yeah, between the two of us, we sort of know.
This is not a ship that, if it is a ship heat sink, it is not trying to be seen.
It's a stealth. Interesting. I reel back on the reclaimer a little bit, give it a little bit less gas for a second, just keep level. Let's do a scan for low frequency. See if there's any sort of chatter under the above band stuff. See if
Sure
there's
thing,
anything we
boss.
get. And sort of with a furrowed brow, I stare in the direction of the heatsink.
So
And a sphere radiates on the monitor from the center of the ship.
as soon as the sphere goes past the dune, where you think something might still be lingering, your comms light up. Someone's trying to hail you.
Then I sort of look nervously to Javier and I touch it and I say, "This is Captain Canada of the Asteria."
Get out of here, Locust. This is our hall. I'm only going to warn you once. And with that, from behind the dune, a Crucible-class ship takes off. It seems to you that your lead has double-sold the location of this ship. And it did cost you a fair bit. Your weapons and 5 oranges from Pontus.
It's not the first time it's happened. And I turn to Javier and say, "You only have the nose guns, right?"
Only the nose and the shield.
The Crucible flies in, and you see a tractor beam emit from the ship into the sand. And you see the sand start to disperse and rubble disperse as you see the beginnings of a ship starting to emerge.
How big is the Crucible
The
compared to the
Crucible is a
Reclaimer?
smaller ship than yours. However, it is
Larger
much
ship.
more maneuverable and quicker.
All right. And I get into the pilot seat as I'm strapping on my shit and kind of I can do it. I throw up my sleeves and I'm like, yeah, we tried it before. We can do it. We can do it, right? And I start
I'm strapping in now.
bringing on the accelerator as we start moving closer. I think we could do it. I mean, last time it was in space, but the same principle is in gravity, right? We can do it.
I told you back off.
And I turn off the comms mid-sentence.
What?
We can do it, right?
Sure.
And the Reclaimer starts cutting across the landscape and picking up speed.
Directing
hulking
shields
mass
to the
of
very front.
Yeah, let's do it. The sort of cone of shield starts encompassing the front of the ship as the massive Reclaimer is building up speed and gusts of dust off the tops of hills.
The safety light comes on, suggesting that you're going too fast in atmosphere. Your shield warnings come up as a reminder of 26% in your aft shields.
Yeah, and we're skimming across the surface on a direct route to the Crucible.
The Crucible jockeys for position, trying to get out of line of where you seem to be approaching.
But it's trapped with the tractor beam, keeping
it's not letting go of its quarry.
Exactly, and the comms are going wild as it's continually trying to hail us.
A warning shot fires over your left side.
Yeah, and it just gets like kind of, I like maneuver it real quick with the speed of the beam. It hits us a little bit, but okay, we got this. And the rattling of the reclaimer starts to shake the little Hawaiian girl on the dash is bouncing back and forth wildly.
Some more weapon systems start coming online for the other ship, and it just opens fire on it.
And sort of because of the mass and the weight of the reclaimer, I can only sort of dodge a very few before
releasing shaft.
Yeah, please. And as he relieves the shaft, I slam on the
afterburner.
Afterburner. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, the afterburner. The boost and afterburner.
Just everything you got.
Just everything we got, and go screeching towards the crucible.
Okay, so I'm gonna need you to roll, Justin. I'm gonna have you be an asset for Harlan's roll because you're co-piloting for him.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Make it so.
You're cute. Oh shit.
Can you roll a 1d100? We'll say.
Me?
Yep.
Oof. Does he get anything for an asset though? Does he roll anything, or what does
he does? He lowers
just
the difficulty for sure.
It lowers the difficulty.
Oh right. 30
to 21.
All of a sudden, are you strapped in, Javier?
Oh yeah, I'm strapped in.
We both are.
Okay, you feel all of a sudden weightlessness as a shot fires through your hull. You hear a decompression warning, and then the warning stops as your ship takes care of it. But your gravitational systems have been disrupted. Now you're still in atmosphere, obviously, so.
But there's like a certain amount of less.
It doesn't feel like it's constant anymore. Like you have it set to a certain amount, and as you're moving, your G-forces, you're feeling it. But you know now a warning comes up. Your gravitational systems are offline, and they're still trying to hail you as they pull a little bit more of the Gladius out of the.
And I shout over the wisping wind that's now filling the cockpit. I'm like, "It's okay. We can repair it. We're gonna have enough for two." And now that we're close enough to use the nose cannons. I yelled at Javier, "Light it up!" And we both go on full on the nose cannons.
We're both on one cannon.
Yeah. Well, both sides.
And it's not like automatic. You have to do this.
Yeah.
Pew, 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 pew. All right, roll. Let's have Javier roll this one.
Yeah.
All right. Boom, boom, boom. All right, got a 17.
Nice.
All right, you connect. You see it hit the underside of the wing as the crucible is trying to pull this Gladius out of the ground, and you see it shake and it loses a little bit of the pull, and you see the Gladius sink back down a bit, and it jockeys around and tries to shoot at you again. Can you roll a 1d100, Justin, to see what you did?
Can I say I've done this before? I rammed a Gladius.
Oh yeah, it'll work.
And it works.
Oh, totally. You totally should do it. I mean, the Gladius is like
it's nothing.
100th of your size.
I got 52.
So all of a sudden you see smoke coming out of the Gladius.
And
it's smoking as it's trying to get away, or trying to pull the Gladius out of the soil. This is a crucible, though, not a Gladius you're fighting.
What?
It's a crucible. He's pulling the Gladius out of the soil.
Oh right.
Crucible's a little bit bigger.
It's a big ship. It's a big ship.
It's another. Yeah, it's kind of like.
I should have my database open.
All right. So what is your next attempt? So it's probably got half the Gladius out of the ground at this point.
How much
There's
damage
other
have
options.
we taken?
Remember, Justin, you're on a reclaimer. You have drones.
Oh, listen. We've got options.
You have lots of options.
Okay, here's what I'm thinking. How much damage are we taking?
Aside from the damage that's been done to your gravitational systems, marginal, nothing. A very little, like a single pinhole.
See, that's the thing. This seems to be working. I have a badass maneuver in mind, but I don't think it's necessary right now. Is there going to be more ship combat? Should we save it?
I can't tell you that.
What do you think, Javier? Should we do a ground pound?
Already? It seems so early.
You're right. Let's lay on.
We got
let's,
this.
Let's stay on the guns, and then we're gonna keep doing it.
You have other options, right? You have the drones.
I know,
You have the claw.
but I also have a cool.
I don't want to waste
head.
one of the
Okay,
drones.
so we're waiting to do that.
Well,
Saving it.
kind of.
Those
Yeah,
drones
let's
are
make it.
expensive.
Those drones
I'm
are, and you
thinking
are
that,
down.
I don't
Yeah.
want to use the. I don't want to use the drones, and the claw is too. We're too far to use the claw right now.
I'm diverting power completely to aviation
Yeah.
and
Front shields.
and shields.
Yeah.
The
No
Crucible
weapons
tries
right
to
now?
lock
Let me know
missile
what you
lock
have.
on you. Get a missile lock on you. Can you guys roll to see if you are able to do chaff to throw off the missiles?
I'm gonna do
or-
flares.
Flares, sorry, yeah.
Do I get a bonus for flares?
Yes,
Because
but
I
I'm gonna have
restocked
you-
them.
Okay, so you're out of flares now.
Well, I haven't used them now.
But you can just use them.
Yeah, I'm gonna use them in
Okay,
this.
this is it.
That wasn't my example. Though. I
Okay.
wasn't using them.
You just used them. Okay, roll.
Hey, if we can pull this off, we're gonna be bringing back a big haul. For,
That's my thinking. This is gonna be 2 instead of 1.
Well, no, actually, do we actually want to end them?
A
We just wanna
burst of
damage them enough
flame
to
we'll see.
scare them
emits
away.
from the side of your ship as you see impact from a missile. Can you roll 1d100?
Shit. 55.
Okay, so some of your shields are reduced. You are actually only at about 50% in your front end of your ship.
How far is the Gladius out of the ground? Can we tell?
Gladius is at about 3/4 now.
All right. Heavier.
Yeah.
I think we should do a ground pound.
Hey, you're the captain. I'm buckled in, so we do whatever we need to do. We doing the ground pound?
We could. Here's what I'm thinking. This is the ground pound maneuver. I'm making up.
Please explain.
Okay, what's the ship? What's the vehicle with the gun on the top? The land vehicle.
The rover?
Yeah, there's a rover with the gun on it.
Oh, the tumbler.
Tumbler. That's what we got. Here's what I'm thinking. This is the ground pound maneuver. The ship keeps going as the diversion, and we drop the tumbler. The other person in the tumbler like zips beneath it and starts firing up at it. So basically, it's like being attacked from below.
The interesting thing about that also is the other ship is aware of what weaponry you have, but it's not aware that you have a tumbler.
Exactly, and it's also badass.
Alright.
Which apparently you have a tumbler?
Yeah,
Okay.
because then you're like,
I like it.
mind you, I know that the tumbler doesn't have much gas, so I'm nervous.
And the other thing is you're dropping a tumbler from what height?
That's okay.
Okay.
The gravity's low on Ash.
It's Earth.
It's low now.
Earth.
I mean, if we're in 0G or if
You're
we're
not in
floating,
0G.
you're super floating.
I tried to clarify.
You
that.
retconned it.
Yeah, I did.
Well, but also I'm retconning the
Do
tumbler.
it. Make it happen.
You're retconning.
I don't know,
the retcon.
Javier. What do you think? I turn to you. I say, ground pound. Now that you know what it is. What do you think?
good old
All right,
one,
maybe
too.
this isn't the time to experiment, but I've been toying with an idea. I think it just might work if I get everything balanced correctly.
All right, tell me.
You think we can spare one of our missiles? I know we can't fire them right now.
I
Because
look
we're
over
still
the
missile
missiles, and
launchers.
there's only one left.
And you drew something. What did you draw on it?
Yeah, and the other one's just like it's filled with garbage. There's two missile bays.
one missile silo.
There's two missile silos just filled with like
cheesies
used,
and, like,
used Chinese food cartons.
That's right.
I look back. Yeah, we can spare it.
Okay, all right.
We only have the one missile. Though.
That's right.
That's why it's fine.
Yeah,
You're
gravity's
no- you're
offline,
no
by the
more-
way.
you're no
I
more
say
chaff.
as I unbuckle
flares.
myself and say, "Don't get us killed while I'm not strapped in, please."
Are you kidding? If we're gonna
I
die,
start
it's gonna be
way
different.
down the hallway, and I move my way down to the drones, and I get the last like, it's not like a full missile, like it's like a light one, and I figure out a way to attach it to the drones, and I've got like
Are you
all the
wasting
things
a
in there.
drone and a missile?
Now drones are able
They're
to.
way more
They have
expensive.
their own tractor beams, Justin. They can carry a certain amount of load because that's what they do. Is they bring material to be harvested by the reclaimer.
And I'm shouting this to Kaneda as I'm doing it. I'm saying, yes, it's true, but I have much more control over the drones. And we can activate the missile remotely so they won't be picked up on their scans
And I
until
shout,
it's too late.
Just get it done.
All right.
I'm doing the ground pound. No, just kidding. I run up back and drive.
Abuela's going, what are you up to, son?
I shut her down. Yeah. Okay. So then I get it set up. I drop the missile and the drone with the tractor beam, and I carry it over. And so I'm thinking that the heat signature is not going to read like a missile until I activate the missile.
That's reasonable.
And I'm going to drive the drone to the engine core, like get it to a point where it's a vulnerable spot, because I can, control it from the remote terminal.
Can I ask if you took which drone did you take? Did you take one of the completely functioning drones, or did you take one of the ones with limited operation?
In this case, I'm going to take the completely functional one.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to save
choice.
it.
I'm starting to see my money is tight for them.
This is, yeah.
So I just risk it, send it out. So I've got this drone out. It falls a good 100 feet from the bottom of the reclaimer.
The thrusters turn on.
The thrusters turn on, and the tractor beam, it catches the deactivated missile, and it starts flying as I'm maneuvering it with the joystick area. And so I can see on the screen from the camera the bottom of the crucible, and I can see the guns firing towards us
as
not
it's an
back at
automated
it.
drone, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm observing their shields on my monitor on the side, and I'm doing a lot of multitasking, but I'm not breaking a sweat. And I bring the drone up to a point where it's just on the right flank of where the engine core would be, and I'm going to activate the missile. First, I'm going to shout back, "You ready?"
And I did I use up all my flares?
Yes.
Damn. Yeah, I'm ready. And I hover over the silo, that's the tube that's filled with garbage, to fire it.
Okay. So it shoots a bunch of garbage?
Just a bunch of hot garbage. Because you're going to be like, what? That's not missile. And then you're going to fire it from up their ass.
Release the tractor beam of the drone, try to bank off with it as away from the missile as I activate the missile.
And as I fire the
garbage.
garbage.
All right, I need you to roll. This is pretty tough maneuver that you're doing there, Justin, but I'm going to give you an asset because of the fact that it's in your name. What's your title again? Your sentence?
Engineer.
No,
I talk to machines.
Right, so he's really, really good with this type of thing.
And the hot garbage thing.
Am I allowed to spend anything on this
basically
to effort or whatever?
Yeah, you can use from your pools.
Okay. What are our pools right now?
What are your pool, Harlan? What do you want to say?
10.
Do you remember?
I think it's 1088.
1088 is what it is. Intellect, might, and speed.
I looked through all the stuff to get it down and then forgot to write it down.
1080.
And then this would be more of an intellect,
I think
right?
you're underselling yourself because usually it's 13.9, but we're gonna go 1080.
Oh, you know what? Actually,
you want speed or intellect for this one?
Is it you're clever, Justin, or are you being nimble with your maneuvers?
I think it's nimble with the maneuvers.
Okay.
So effort. So I've got 5 speed now.
Okay.
And all right, so that lowers it another point.
Okay, so we've lowered it 2 points. You need to roll a 6
it's 1099
in order to be successful.
Holy fuck.
What'd you roll? There you go.
I roll a 14.
Nice.
So the comrades are still trying to hail you. Yeah, you can have it back. The comms are trying to hail you. Do you see anything? Do you let them come through at all? Before this happens?
This is probably what, Javier, the 52nd, 53rd salvage we've done. Out of all of those, I would say 25 of them were combat-based, without any sort of initiation and 0 option to negotiate. These people are kill or be killed. A lot of them, it's their livelihood, and this isn't a game. So no.
The missile makes impact with the wing that's still smoking and smoldering. Immediately, you see the beam stop as the ship loses control and circles and dives and lands in the sand with a puff of rusty smoke. and he drops the Gladius, boom, as it slides down the dune a little bit. The Gladius's wings break off, its tail breaks off, its cockpit breaks off, and what's left is kind of the main hull, which you know is the sweet stuff. It's the adamantine itself, making it a little easier for you to reclaim it.
That's what we want. And that's the name of the ship. The Crucible, what's it doing?
The Crucible looks to be not functioning. It didn't explode or anything. It's still trying to hail you guys. But it is... you know that it's a modern ship.
Is it flyable? Does it look like it's flying?
Not in the state that it's in.
I buzz Javier in a very monotone voice and just say, prepare for boarding. And I continue towards it to maneuver above it so that we can open the bottom.
To drop in on the Crucible.
It's not a great place to... wait, is there gravity here or is there not gravity
Earth.
here?
It is ash. It's Earth.
So
it's Earth, so there is gravity.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we should be boarding it right now.
No, but doesn't it sound cool?
It does sound very cool.
Do we have a tractor beam?
Yep.
Can we? I tractor beam the Crucible.
Okay, it's a fairly substantial ship. It's tough for your ship to do, but you can pull it slowly.
I want to talk to these people face to face, not in comms.
You can go down and do it. There's the risk, especially with the Vacui wandering around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what are our options? We either leave them abandoned, destroy them.
I would just, use the comms. Why does that have to be face to face?
Because I feel like if we don't like the way it goes, we can kill them. Fine,
over the comms you do actually get a picture.
Yeah, you're right. So I slow the reclaimer down and keep the engines hovering and answer their hail.
You happy?
This didn't make anybody happy.
Was it really worth the amount that you spent? A missile? I mean... who gave you this job? How do you know about this location? My name's Lachlan. Like you, I'm a salvager. I'm trying to make a living. I saw you guys coming into the atmosphere. I thought I'd hang low, see what you guys were doing. Didn't want to give you the location of the Gladius. I thought maybe you'd leave, but you didn't. What was I supposed to do?
You could abandon the salvage and move on.
Why did you guys abandon the salvage?
We wanted more.
No, you just have the bigger ship.
Yeah, we did. And I end the comms.
You recognize Lachlan. He's one of... you've seen him around, especially in the circles that you...
Oh, then I don't end it.
Well, he's not like a friend of you. He's just competition.
Oh, as long as I know him. I say, look, Lachlan, you know the game. You wanted to be a player in it. It's whoever puts more on the table is going to get the bigger hand.
So what's the plan? You're just going to leave us here? Stranded?
No. If you want to lift back, I'll give you a lift back. Let us salvage this and I'll help you out. We're not here to kill. We're here to make money. You fired a missile. You fired at us. It's just the way it's played.
Are you going to let us on your ship?
On our ship?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Yeah, come get us.
Okay. Sit tight. Okay. I fly down to the planet.
Okay, you land, and Lachlan says, what, you want us to come out?
No, we're going to salvage this. Just hang there.
All right, so you start salvaging the Gladius. It's quick work for you. It's a smaller ship. You have the right tool for the job. The reclaimer takes what it needs and then actually breaks up the material, the adamantine, and quarantines it in your hull. In your salvage hull. It's all on board. Everything that you feel like you can use. You're pretty happy with what you got. Little damage was done to it when it dropped. You're pretty happy with it.
And I stopped Javier as we're like walking past each other in EVA suits, whatever. I'm like, great maneuver, by the way. That was a great idea.
Oh, thank you, boss. I got the drone back too.
I saw. Good job.
Appreciate it.
And I sort of move on and stop and say, you okay with giving them a tow back to Pontus? Or wherever we were.
You're going to go first to Iris, because that is where you sell your goods usually, which is the Dyson Sphere.
Yeah. You okay if we give them a tow back to
Iris?
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't we? I mean, it's all part of the game, right?
The only thing that You don't know them. You don't trust them. So I would definitely take precautions if I were to.
I think we're going to tow them via tractor beam. Keep them on their ship.
Okay.
The more I think.
Yeah,
about
that's fine. There's a cost associated, right? You're bringing more of a bigger load with you, so it's going to be heavier for your ship. Obviously, you're bringing the crucible with you.
Yeah, but they're we destroyed the wing, right? Their engines should still be intact.
Their engines?
They'd be able to give us a boost as well.
That's a good point.
Once they're out in the atmosphere, they're not going to be able to maneuver as well. But they'll be
let's
able
tow them to the atmosphere. That's a better call. Yeah. So when we're done our salvage, I hail him back and I say, "You still with us, Lachlan?"
Well, where else would I be?
Look, we'll tow you to the atmosphere, and then you can make your way back, leg on to Iris or Pontus, wherever you want to go.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey, like I said, we may not get the same salvage, might not be splitting it, but we're all just trying to survive in the calm. And yeah, we'll tell him. We'll use the grav gun to bring him out to the atmosphere, and when he's in the atmosphere, let him off.
Before long,
You and Lachlan seem to have a respect for each other.
it's kind of like a respect among thieves, if that's a thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
think
he wouldn't lose sleep if this had gone south even further and you didn't survive.
it's vice versa. And
But
I say
being
to
that there was like if it was the same situation, he probably would have done the same thing.
I say to Javier, and I say, there's very few people out here, Javier, that we've run into that I think are truly bad. I think a lot of them are scared and a lot of them are stupid, and we did the right thing by not backing away. And he would have done no different. So he can talk about whether it being worth it, but at the end, he knows it's just as worth it as it is for us. But I don't want anybody to die unnecessarily.
No, of course not. I'm thinking the opposite. Why don't you guys work together? Find a way to combine the two of your efforts to create something bigger than yourselves.
I can sympathize with the guy. It doesn't mean I like him. No, we make more money from this haul by... Look, he can say what he wants, but we wasted one missile and we got a hole in the hull. We just made double that. If we had to split it, we would have been making half and could have had the same damage from another damn rover out here.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Speaking of which, I should check out that hole. Give me a minute.
Yeah. That's a good idea before we get him.
Javier makes short work of it. It's not a big deal. He that being said, the gravitational systems are going to be harder to deal with, and you are forced to turn on your magnetic boots in order to make sure that you're not going to float around when you're working back there, Javier. Pulling back on the throttle, you squint your eyes for a moment, forgetting to breathe. The engineering wonder of Iris fills your mind with a feeling of dread. Trying to harvest the complete energy of our star. The thing that nations have worshipped for millennia is like trying to put shackles on God. First, you fly close, as the external hull temperature rises over 1,000 degrees Celsius. Warning lights jump on across your motherboard. Vibrations chatter your teeth, but this is all protocol to you. They won't take any goods or ships arriving from Ash unless they are first sterilized. It's not the safest way, but it is the fastest and cheapest. You receive a hail and make your approach to scaffold 62C.
This is where Marcus Aurelius is said to be?
Well, yeah. You know that this is where he said he'd be for the next couple of days.
Okay.
Justin, would you pull up the image of the partially constructed Dyson sphere?
Sure, I'll share it in the chat.
Now, this isn't. This is further along than Ash is. We're talking about. It's probably about 30% complete. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Meeting Aurelius is like meeting an older brother. You're happy to do it every once in a while, but it's not long before his playful teasings turn annoying, and you would prefer to be back aboard your ship on your next mission.
I will say that Javier doesn't know about Marcus Aurelius, and I tell him, as I've told him a few times, gotta go meet a friend, buy a drink at the bar for me or something like that.
All right, so you're saying that you're gonna separate?
Yes.
It would be a good idea maybe to send Javier to sell the goods.
Perfect.
And maybe, so with the money, you guys did well. So you have a couple choices. You can buy some armaments. You can repair a couple of the things in the ship. If there's something that you think you want for this trip, the next mission, it's not a bad idea to be armed, as you would be able to relay from the conversation you're going to have with Marcus.
Yeah, well, we can keep in contact via comms. Like, I can message you as you go through. I think the thing with Javier is that I like him a lot and I trust him a lot. But at the same time, I see a lot of myself in him, so much as that I can see him growing tired of following someone else's command. Here's someone that I could see being in command of their own ship. And to that, I become a bit nervous at sharing things like contacts with him because of how that could bite me in the ass. That being said, what's that?
What do you mean by, like, if he...
Well, if he gets his own ship and he moves on his own, then he's another person that knows Marcus that buys a better contract out from under me. You know what I mean? So it's sort of like, I would never ever call Javier my enemy. I would trust him with my life, but in a business sense, I'm nervous about being in a partnership versus keeping the lines of, like, you know, not succession, but of, like, you know,
hierarchy or whatever.
Hierarchy, thank you. And it's just traditional based on, like, the way his dad raised him, and, like, Kanata was very much like that. So when it comes to business, there's a very clear hierarchy when it comes to everything else. And in fact, in an emotional sense, you know, there's nights at the bar that Javier is, like, pushing Kaneda to, like, take a dance with some young girl making eyes at him, and he's like, no, that's not going to happen. But, like, when it comes to the business, I think both of them have learned to respect that sort of order.
Do you see him as an equal, or...?
I see him as is above me in, like, a social sense. Like, it's weird how much that switches when we get to any sort of non-business related thing. If it's a social interaction, if it's a night at the bar, Javier is so above me, it almost puts Kanata in such a bizarre frame of mind. But when it comes to stepping on that ship, it's the complete opposite, that Kaneda feels very much in charge, that it's his way. And I think that's the way he needs to function on the ship.
Okay, so while you're there, aside from the fact that...
Does that make sense to you, Javier? Does that seem...
Yeah, no, it's good. It's a good dynamic.
I'm making this up as I'm going along.
Aren't we all?
Well, I mean, to me, whether it be like a boat or a spaceship, it needs a captain, literally for that reason. And I think that's the way Kanata was, like, raised.
Sure.
Yeah, it is.
That's how it works.
I'm glad to be back. I'm having a good time.
Listen to that! Oh, what a cutie.
They're happy to have you back, Chris. I wonder if this is a good time for the
mid-game.
Mid-game? Are we doing a mid-game?
We did such a big.
We had like an hour.
Yeah, we had such a big intro. I don't think we need a mid-game.
Yeah, let's
Colin,
mid-game post over.
I love the fact that he knew what
the Dyson sphere was.
No, Iris, and he went Icarus. I did think about calling it Icarus. I did, but I thought that was too hit.
Did you call me Harley on this?
No, that was the character named Harley.
Oh,
Harley.
Who's Harley?
Harley is the person who flew Sarah on the last mission.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, so this message was sent to the person who flew them.
Yeah, and that's why I asked you why you weren't there.
It's just
But you ended up getting the message.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously...
I thought the way... It kept throwing me off because...
I knew. I had thought about changing Harley because I was like, oh, Harley's
well, it's because...
like, why Harley?
But the thing is, so Joe's middle name is Iris, and she calls me Harley.
Iris is such a cool name.
Yeah, it's really cool. But
It's the god of wonder.
Well, anyway, but she, like, calls me Harley, like, it's like a pet name. So I thought, for some reason, as you're reading this, I'm like...
It'd be really creepy.
Well, I was like, are you creepily making this scientist girl that's, like, my love interest, like, trying to call me a pet name?
I asked you who it was. Like, it could have been any. It could have been your sister, brother, short uncle.
No, you did. I did that for that reason. I wanted that emotional connection. I just didn't know how farther you were taking it. I just wanted to know. Did you want a beer or anything, by the way?
I brought my own.
Did you want a beer?
I don't know if I should have it because I'm under the weather.
You're under the weather.
You want to have it? I wanted to bring it because that's one of the... I don't know. Can you have beer when you're under the weather?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't I get you one of the cold ones and I'll put this in the fridge and save it for you next time or whatever. Or do you want this one?
Do you have a Chronicle? Because that's a Chronicle.
I have tons of
beer back.
Yeah, let's have a beer.
Chris, you talked to the stream for 5 seconds. I haven't seen you in forever.
Cool. Yeah, let's have some conversations.
It's going to be like a mini break.
Mini break. Do we not do mid-game anymore?
Well, we are, but we're not doing it tonight.
Did we do a mid-game post?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, we do, but we're not going to.
We just mooned everybody.
Good.
I didn't see anything, unfortunately. Justin, are you having fun so far?
He's just left.
Oh, it's just me by myself. All right, let's ask some questions. What does everyone think so far? Dyson spheres are cool.
Did you want a Pinot Noir sour, or do you want like a beer?
It would be a cool 5-part episode. What?
Do you want a sour or a beer?
Beer, please. Sour is a beer.
Mind Flare?
Yeah. I thought you were gonna like go downstairs.
No, it's right here.
Cool. Let me open it over here just in case.
Yeah, you open beers. Fine.
Oh.
See? He does it. He did it. Let me get some water. Look at
Mini
this
crisp
getup
bacon
I'm
as
wearing.
well.
It's like
Oh, sweet.
gray, brown sweater and then like these bright red socks.
Has anybody ever done on the stream maple syrup? If you have, what do you act like that's a weird question?
Has anyone done maple syrup?
Have
Like snorted it like fucking Coke? What do you mean done?
in Canada, it is
mean
the
done maple
hardest
syrup?
drug we
What is
have.
done maple syrup?
Made
You mean
ma-
tapped it?
No, made maple syrup. Yes,
Was it made maple syrup?
made.
It's not a heroin drug.
Wore my team green shirt. Yes, you should have. 5-part campaign. You know what? It's a lot of material, and I did miss a lot, so it could be a longer campaign. I had this like, it's a really cool like. In my mind, I'm thinking entropy and creation, like two working opposites. I think that's kind of a cool thing to work with. Anyways, yeah, I'm making maple syrup right now. We've been tapping our trees. Been busy. We have another baby on the way. That's pretty exciting. So these bags are just gonna get bigger and bigger. But I miss this a lot. I really have a good time. So glad to see that it's like it didn't fall apart without me, which I assume it would have, being that I'm the you know, bones and blood of the stream. It would be nothing without me. Justin's back. I mean,
Great sentence to come back to. That's great. I totally agree. I wholeheartedly agree. I mean,
I wasn't being facetious at all.
That's good. What are you talking about other than that though?
I got really in depth really quick.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, it was very emotional.
Oh, about life and
About life and stuff. I was talking about how I'm tapping maple syrup.
Mm-hmm.
Tapping
I mentioned that earlier.
Did you?
Yeah. It was a good segue into a post, but yes. And did you get more today?
Yeah, it was a pretty good day. A lot of production.
Somebody said today and tomorrow are going to be good, or tomorrow's going to be good.
Yeah, I think so because it's supposed to be really warm.
Mm-hmm.
Weird thing is our big tree is not doing any, so I don't know if it's because it's too old or something. If that's a thing.
How's your apple tree doing?
I hope it comes back.
You killed it.
That being said, I'm doing a planting day in April, which I want you and Joe to be there.
Okay.
We're
Joe and I bought him an apple tree. Killed it.
The
Maliciously.
dog.
This is how I was inspired by Vacui. I was like,
How
does
can
it
it kill things?
oh, by the way, Vacui, the name inspired me too, obviously, right? Like the
Horror vacuum?
yeah,
Yeah. It's a vacuum of space.
Yeah,
It's like an
horror.
old term for it.
the abhorrence of empty spaces in nature. I was like, yeah, that's perfect.
Aristotle created the term.
I never knew. Okay, so who came first? Plato? Was it Plato, then Aristotle, and Socrates?
I don't fucking
Justin, you know.
Plato.
One of them wrote, but I think one like
Plato, Aristotle, Socrates, I think.
I don't think Plato wrote down anything. I think it was like Socrates
What's a scribe?
was described. Anyways, are you having fun?
I'm having such a great time.
This
thinking
is
also
really
wrong.
scratching an itch for me. I didn't realize I had an itch for
Space.
the space, but like this like serious space on more of like what's it called? Coda, like a Coda sort of vibe.
Yes. I was thinking this because Joe's going to be moving in here.
Coda, that was fun.
And her computer is going to be here.
Cool.
But there's going to be nights she's still working nights. So on those days,
I can come and have my own screen.
I think you got to come. I think we should
like
make it
being
like
in
a
the same,
rule.
I like being in the same screen.
Well, I do too. But what I mean to say is like that way you have like
Backup.
well, not a backup. You have like a break. You're not doing it every week because you can't. But like it'd be like once a month.
That'd be great. Yeah, or probably less, but I'd like that. It'd be nice to. And you know what's even nicer? I kicked everybody off the internet at my house. I told everyone to disconnect their phones, try their best,
Wow.
to have, and it still didn't work. So, on another note, it's nice for everybody else that I can have that as an option.
Mind you, actually, I'm not thinking this through because you're on March break this week.
That's why I'm
So
saying
you'd
this
be
week.
working. You'd be working tomorrow if this were normal.
Well,
But in the
I see
summer.
that. But I could go home. After.
That's true.
It's only like 11 o'clock.
How far is it from home?
It was 25 minutes.
But I mean, like work is farther from home than it is from here, right? You're it that way.
It's the same distance. It's actually closer here, I think.
See, what you should do is you should like on
Bring my
the
clothes.
night you want a game, you come here, you stream from here, you sleep on the spare bed I'm gonna have because I'm gonna have 2 beds. What does homemade maple syrup taste like?
It's about the same, but you get botulism.
Same, but botulism. Hey, you ever done maple syrup? All right, let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we return to the vacuum of space in horror Vacui.
Iris is filled with engineers, highly intelligent people motivated to get the Dyson Sphere built, their families as well, in order that second Earth is an option, a viable option that they can transport huge distances away. While you're there, your ship is refueled. Solar energy is converted to usable fuel for your ship.
Hydrogen. Hydrogen fuel?
I mean, sure.
Sure, whatever, dude.
Why hydrogen?
Oh, that's what it is in Star Citizen. That's
Oh, gosh.
what I'm basing everything on. I'm sorry.
Nerd.
Sorry, carry on.
You go to the bar. It's 62C, the scaffolding there. It's a working bar. There's a lot of people there who clearly just got off shift, working to take the adamantine from people like you and construct the Dyson Sphere. A man sits at a table with a glass of whiskey in front of him, and he sees you and he smiles and stands up. It's Mark.
I walk into the room with my sort of rucksack that I always bring off ship. It has a combination of credits, some clothes. The temperature can vary so much from port to port. But frankly, you'll never know when you're going to need a sweater or something to strip off. The opposite of sweater. A negative shirt. I got nothing. And I sit down, slinging my sort of maroon sack beneath my feet. Perch my feet on the table across from him.
What are you doing? Marcus says. He smiles. He stands up. Come here. And he goes to give you a hug.
And I sort of reluctantly stand up and give him a hug with sort of a half-hearted smile.
As he hugs you, he grabs your waist and says, "Oh, you put on some weight," as he tries to fondle your love handles.
All right. Marcus, I didn't realize you double-sold the last job.
What do you mean double-sold? What are you talking about?
Longdale?
Lochran. Right. Lochran. Were you... that was the Gladius?
Yeah.
That was... Oh, I had no idea... Oh, man. I thought I...
You know what? Listen, Marcus, I don't give a shit. I know the job.
You know what? Here's the thing. I knew you could do it, and I knew that they couldn't, so I figured why not make a little bit more money?
Okay, here's the problem, though. I don't care how you do what you do. I understand that you're going to double book, triple book sometimes. Just don't lie to me about it. At least let me know what I'm coming into.
Sure thing.
Next time, just tell me there's someone else that I sold it to. I'm not going to be angry. I'm still going to pay you your fee, but...
Well, honestly, I would have told you this time if I honestly didn't...
Just do me a favor. I don't like walking in to a fight that I'm not prepared for. Let me know next time that you double booked it, okay?
I didn't double book this next one, I promise. This next one, it's for you and you alone. And if you don't mind me saying, we should probably keep it down.
I was talking in a pretty quiet tone.
I know, but I don't often.
All right.
It's gonna pay a lot of money.
Okay.
Like, I'm willing to take like not my typical 75%. Is that what
I don't care about that. You said Sarah.
Yeah. You know the processing plant outside of Chicago. There's a facility there. I don't know if you've known it.
On Ash?
Yeah, old Chicago.
Chicago. God, that's a name that I haven't heard.
Well, there's a processing plant for the Vacui there, and they have a transport that needs to be done. And I know this is out of your line of work, but I heard the name of Sarah come up, and it's possible. It's just rumor, but it's possible that she could be cryogenically quarantined in this processing plant, and they're taking the sick, they're taking the samples. I mean patients. They're taking the patients from this processing plant, and they're bringing it to the Titan in order for them to be treated, and hopefully they can recover there, because all of our best and brightest have gone there.
Hold on, this is a transport job from Ash to Pontus?
Yeah.
So we're bringing cryogenically frozen, and you think Sarah might be one of these?
I heard, okay, so on this planet they find vacui and they process them, they go through them, if there's anyone of note, and you know that Sarah, in her research, she was a valuable scientist. I think the rumor has it they found her, and that they're bringing her to Pontus in order to help her and to heal her. And if you can get her there, I thought. Well, here's the other thing. Here's the other rub of this situation. There's a debris storm that's now coming within on your way to Saturn. It's a treacherous run, and not a lot of people are doing it. And they think that these patients will only be viable for a little bit longer. So it's a little time sensitive. And well, I knew that you had the reclaimer, and that has quite the haul on it. And you'll probably be able to withstand a lot more than most people. And if you don't mind me saying it, do you really want someone else driving Sarah again?
No, look, you cut the bullshit. You know I would do anything, and I mean fucking anything, to make sure that I'm the one that picks up Sarah if she's there. The question I'm asking you is, how do you know she's there? Who told you this information? And did you mention that? Did you say anything about me?
No, it was an anonymous source.
Anonymous source, well, Marcus.
Something seemed familiar about it. It was... I don't know who it is, but if I knew, I'd tell you.
What's this plant called? The one outside of Chicago.
They just call it a processing plant. It's on the outskirts. It's the only place you'll know it. I have the coordinates. He slides a piece of paper over to you. It's right here. I mean, it's Vacui ridden. I mean, everybody who's in Chicago who's still there after the evacuation.
Right, but who's running it? Obviously, it's not run by the Vacui. They're being transported out.
UEC is running it.
Okay.
And
they're the ones paying us?
Yeah, that's why it's big money.
Is this an above board job? How is this not being... How is this
well,
not...
usually they'd have military. They'd have other ships doing it, right? They'd have people, but no one's willing to make the run.
Why? Just from Ash to Titan?
Yeah, they're not willing to do it within the time frame they have. The patients are going to expire before it's even time.
So speed is the key.
By the way, I'm glad they take the reclaimer off your hands. If you want
that's not what we're doing here. Look, yeah, we'll take it. Are they expecting us?
I told the contact. Her name's Coraline. And I told her that you would be there, and she'd know you when she sees you. You'll stand out like a sore thumb when you get there. Trust me. Anyways, you'll go to the processing unit. You'll get the cargo. I mean, you'll get Sarah, and it's just a straight haul, and you'll bring her to where she can be helped. Maybe find some peace.
So you're saying that Sarah is Vacui?
I don't know. There's rumor that they found her.
And you don't even know if Sarah would be there.
Do you want the job or not? I'm trying to help you.
Why do I get the feeling that you're also trying to fuck me?
Do a roll.
It's because my ass is hurting so much.
Mark was a friend of yours and Sarah's before we lost her.
Better friend of Sarah than me.
Yeah, and he honestly does want some sort of closure, and for there to be some sort of what happened to Sarah, find out what happened to her. He's not trying to screw you over in that sense, but you do get the impression that he's not letting as much information to who it was. You think that he knows the contact.
Who's this Coraline? For real?
She's a scientist. She works in the processing plant.
No, you know her. Who is she? There's no way this anonymous fucking tip came up, but somehow you managed to name.
It's not her.
Who's not her? What do you mean?
She's not the tip. Coraline's not the tip, if that's what you mean.
Would you just tell me what you're fucking not telling me?
Sarah found something. You got the last transmission just the same as I did. There's a lot of talk, there's a lot of murmuring going on about what she found. If it is the buddings of an ecosystem, something sustainable, do you know what that can mean? Do you know what that can mean for the human race, for New Earth? She called it the hope mushroom.
Yeah, well, Sarah was always a bit of a dreamer.
Well, she might have started other people dreaming.
Look, I don't give a shit what her reasons for doing whatever she did was for. I want a chance to talk to her again, to look at her, to fuck. Yeah, I'll do it.
Great. And he finishes his whiskey. Then we need to make sure you're ready. Have you got the essentials?
No, not now. Not if we need to skip across.
I was dealing with Vacui, I would make sure that I had, some solid EVA suits.
Yeah, no,
some weaponry. I know that you bare bones.
I didn't know Sarah sent you that last transmission as well.
She didn't send it to me. I found it.
What do you mean you found it?
How do you think Harley got the job?
You gave Harley her name?
Well, you weren't available.
Have you spoken to Harley?
Not since that day, but maybe
So you know where she got dropped off. She got dropped off on Ash.
She got dropped off on Ash, yeah.
So that's where she was. For fuck's sake. Where is Harley now?
I don't know. He's dropped off the face of comms, but it may be, and this is just a gut instinct, maybe this is the contact. Maybe this is who's telling me.
You think Harley? You think she was the one that told you about Sarah?
How would you feel if you followed protocol and because of that someone died? I'd be eager to make things right.
Wait, who are you saying died?
Sorry, Sarah's still around. I know, she's not
Jesus,
dead.
fuck. So you think Harley's trying to make up for sins?
I just can't figure out who else would be following along with Sarah's story so closely and know me. I mean, this is like two worlds. We have the government and you have yours truly, who clearly is not the government. I need another, please. And the signals for another whiskey.
And Kaneda stands up and says, "Fair enough." So you think Harley would also be on Ash then?
I don't know. I don't know if she'd want to run into you.
Just do me a favor. I don't know if I'd want her to run into me. Just do me a favor and send me your contact information in case I do want to speak to her.
It was a one-way communication. She told me the information that I'm relaying to you.
Well, tell
now.
me what she looks like. Give me something so that if I walk into this person, at least I can know who I'm fucking talking to.
Coraline or Harley?
Harley.
And you know what Harley looks like. As soon as you found out who it was being the pilot for Sarah, you did research. It was a good pilot. Harley, ex-military, knows her stuff. Was young, I know.
Fair enough. And Kaneda stands up and turns it around and just says, "Look, if time is a part of this, then we're gonna get going. You send me all the pertinent information."
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send it to your ship right away. By the way, I had the weapons that you gave me for the location of the last. Put back on your ship.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I turn and I take a few steps from the bar and then I stop and turn back and I just say, if she is alive, well, what do you think they would do to keep her quiet if she did find this hope mushroom or whatever the hell?
I don't want to tell you this, but I think she's a Vacui. I don't think they're going to keep her quiet. I think we'll be lucky if she comes back at all the way we knew her.
Well, I'm gonna try nonetheless. And I sling my maroon backpack over my shoulder and head out to meet up with my engineer.
Justin, you sell the goods for a pretty substantial lump sum, and you're able to buy a few things to prep your ship. Is there anything in particular that you want to try to get?
I get 6 bulldog repeaters, 2 on port, 2 on starboard, 2 for the nose. Oh wait,
Nice.
we already got the nose, so only 4. 2 omniskis for the.
Do you want to blow all the money on armaments? Because I can make you a fully armed. If that's what
Make
you
me
want.
fully armed.
Like if you want to just get weapons for your ship, you can do that. But there are.
Well, I've got a shopping list that I've been sitting down waiting for.
Kaneda?
Yeah. Grav core needs to be repaired.
Yeah.
So
That's a substantial purchase for sure.
Yeah. Also, I was kind of thinking some old-fashioned guns, like, for just having on board, because I'm a gun guy myself.
I have a few ballistic rifles beneath the floorboards, but they're
Oh, do you?
old.
Oh,
they're
perfect.
pretty old though.
I was going to put a cap on what happened depending on how the interaction went. Being that you guys did get the whole Gladius without competition, like you didn't get half of it or anything like that. I'll say you're fully armed. Materials that are reasonable as they come up, I'll be fine with you guys have those.
Nice.
Right.
We'll just discuss it as it comes. If you say something like, "Oh, I have a whole other ship," I might go, no.
Yeah, no.
The one question mark that I have is EVA suits.
Yeah.
I don't know whether or not that's going to be necessary. But,
Do you want
I want my cape.
Do you want armored suits? Now, armored suits
cape.
will be an asset to defense rolls, that type of thing. However, your speed will be reduced with heavier armor.
So pretty much like when Kaneda said like, "Oh, you buy the like equipment and stuff, I'm gonna go take care of this business." I was like, "Yeah, all right." So I just went on a shopping spree,
Yeah.
and so I definitely got the armored suits.
Okay, cool. So you have like basic flight suits, and you have some armored suits. Now the armored suits are slower to maneuver in. Obviously, your oxygen will be depleted faster because of the weight that it is to move around. But yeah,
And additionally, I'm going to get. Well, you don't have to get me an armored suit. I'm going to get my little cape. My little cape suit.
Oh, you're getting your cape, dude. Why don't I just like grab you a blanket that my abuela made and wrap it around your neck?
I like my cape.
It is literally a blanket.
I love it.
It is a blanket that someone knit.
You know what? You
like
do
a
you.
scarf. It is a scarf.
You do you, and I will do me. Kaneda wears a
Okay,
cape.
so while I am withstanding ballistic bullets with my armor, you can
It's still medium armor.
It'll
look
be cozy.
fashionably
It'll be
dead
cozy.
in your
Guys, it's
cape.
still medium armor.
It's still medium armor.
Yeah,
Your cape.
it's medium. I mean, the cape's not. It's just a flare.
more
It's
of a
called
throw.
style. Anyway, so I come back
Social
to
flair.
Javier and I explain the situation. So far as, I mean, you never knew Sarah. You were hired after. You've probably heard me mention her in my sleep and like
Yeah.
probably caught a thing. And,
Do
and-
you tell everything?
no, not yet. I think it'll come out.
So he
at
doesn't
some
know the
point.
significance of this mission. It's just
No, I don't think you. I'm going to let you know. I'm just going to say,
We got another mission already. Wow,
Yeah,
they
we
must
got-
have been pretty happy with our big win back there, eh?
yeah, it's this one's a high-paying one, and the stakes are a bit higher. It's transporting Vacui in cryogenic stasis from Ash to Pontus. We're going to be doing a lot of running and gunning, and it's highly possible.
Ash to Pontus.
Yeah.
There's
I know.
okay. You do know there's a the asteroid belt. Is that what it is?
Yeah, we'll say there's an asteroid storm coming through.
Yeah, there's a storm coming through now. Shouldn't we just wait a week?
Time's not really our friend on this one. It's got a clock. So,
Fuck.
and
right.
beyond that, we're going to have to be pretty smart on this one. I don't think we're going to be the only ones looking for these cryogenic.
Javier starts crossing things off of his wish list.
Sorry, but look, I think the key here is speed. We want to keep it as short of a distance as we can from Ash to Pontus. I think we're gonna. My contact gave us back our guns, so we're not gonna have to worry too much about armaments. Did we get that hole repaired yet?
Yeah, holes repaired. Okay, got myself an armored suit. I hope that's not a problem.
No, that's fine. The drones are fine. We're not gonna need them as much for this one.
You know what we're gonna need? We're gonna need new shields. Because if we're gonna be going through an asteroid belt,
Yeah.
as soon as those start hitting the hull, that's basically like taking.
No, you're right, and
damage.
I wanna just do a quick overhaul on the maneuvering thrusters too. Maybe just grease them a little bit and clear out some of the old gunk that we've had in there from the last.
So
spot.
then we might as well sell the weapons because we're not going to be able to afford all of that. We can keep 2 weapons. I'm thinking we keep 2 weapons on the gimbal turret.
No, we can keep all the weapons.
No, he's right.
What are you doing?
I'm looking at the numbers here. I'm looking at the numbers, and
Look,
it's not going to work out. We
just-
keep 2 on the gimbal, and then that's
We're going to be
if we're
fine
gonna-
weapons-wise. I'm telling you,
redo-
this is going to be hot. And I don't want to totally redo the thrusters. I just want to clean them out real quick. In fact, as quick as we can. This one, like I said, has got a ticking clock on it. And we want to make sure that we're off.
I got a guy doing a full maintenance
Justin,
check, so
as
I'll be able to
you're
look
doing
back.
this maintenance and the revision of the ship, can you do a roll to see if you catch anything?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, so we're kind of like arguing as we're like walking around the ship, I guess.
Very Han Solo being like, put that there and that there.
No, not that.
Yeah.
What
All right,
are
I
you
got
doing
a
to me?
7.
Yeah, it seems like you're good to go.
That's definitely reassuring.
Yeah. Listen, you're distracting me, brother. I'm thinking that we're gonna be fine, but hopefully that other guy catches something that I don't.
I already gave you the asset.
Look, let's just make sure that we're going in with enough of what we need. I'm gonna worry about the ground stuff, okay? And I'm gonna head into shop while he finishes the end of it, and I'm just gonna buy us 2 sort of assault rifles, a few grenades, and medipens.
Are these like heavy or quick rifles?
No, these are like submachine gun assault rifles, so,
Okay, so fast
high fire rate,
but-
yeah, but not enough to sort of, create an arc, just like a good, maybe burst fire, despite how much.
Okay, when you
fucking
guys
hate
feel
burst
like
fire.
you're prepared
Yeah,
for
and medipens,
as much as you can, how many pens? We're gonna say
2 each.
1 each.
Okay.
1 each.
I was gonna say
I don't know
5
why
each,
I
and then I was
asked.
like, I'll go
You
down
got a
2
many
each.
pen.
So now we're down to
Very expensive.
And a sidearm.
$0. We're
You
back
already have the
to
sidearm.
That's what I mean.
bare bones.
My sidearm, I pull it out as it says, never had to buy a new one. Good old Bluebell. She's lasted for probably as long as I can remember.
Falls apart as
No, Bluebell was the name of my gun from
Oh, that's
Deadlands.
right, yeah.
This is like, it's a generational, like, this is Carter's, like, way distant cousin. With Japanese ancestry. I said American Japanese,
There you
so
go.
it's
Why not? Yeah. That's how babies are born.
this way.
That way.
Speaking of,
Yeah. I told everyone.
not here.
I did.
When I was gone?
I had nothing else to say. I'm really bad at. I'll just tell people my most personal things.
No, I was. It's so funny because when you were coming on, Joe was like, "Oh my God, you guys are going to be able to talk about the baby,"
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know we were.
We find out about the gender, or the sex
I'm
next week.
so fucking jealous.
What do you
and
think it's gonna
excited.
be? What do you
That's
feel?
going to be another girl, and I'm so jealous
Yeah, 2 girls.
because I love Henry, but I want.
But I wish he was.
I wish he was a girl. That's why I keep dressing him up in
You
dresses.
know, my
and tutus.
favorite child is a girl.
It's true, and it probably will continue to be because I think you're gonna have a girl. What do you think, Justin?
I'm thinking boy.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm putting my money on boy.
I'm putting mine on a girl. In fact, I know it's a girl.
Yeah.
If it's not a girl,
It's only a girl because you're grumpy about it.
I'm just confident, and I have like a 50-50 chance.
Cool.
There's no reason not to be, right? Although
There would be a lot of girls in the house.
your testosterone is just gonna
Plummet.
plummet, and then
Or
you're
amplify,
gonna go
like, if I get
50.
a
No, it's gonna
Like-
amplify it, I think.
No, it's like it goes
That-
down.
for balance. It's the balance.
I'm drinking from
Daddy!
teacups, so not that that's a testosterone thing.
But I like drink
Right.
from teacups with Henry.
like I said, plummeting.
Well, the Henry does like Spider-Man. Plummeting. And cars. There's cars.
No, guys, I gotta say, I'm really liking this dual
Screen.
screen. Like, you guys both on the same screen. You guys have really good chemistry. just
You don't
gonna
feel
say.
jealous?
Also, you haven't been checking the group chat. I've been commenting the whole time.
Oh.
Really?
Oh, you guys have great chemistry.
All of this.
Chris, did you get a chance to read my email? I can't believe Carly. Oh, I'm just kidding. Read this. You don't. You don't even. You
No,
don't fucking know what I'm reading.
You have wait. Your screen is so big. I'm reading over here.
My screen is so big. You
two
can't
screens.
multitask.
I did read your email, and no, I don't think it worked at all because it was all like same problem that happened with his. You were all in the.
Did you not read my response, by the way?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, but then you called me and said the same thing.
I read it after.
Oh, okay. Because I emailed like right away. I was like, no problem. And
Can
you
we
called
get
me.
back
like,
to my story?
we were talking about your baby. I'm
Priorities,
sorry.
okay? I have to.
Story?
I don't play.
Baby
Because of babies.
And it's only this
And
low
now-
because if I go lower than the screen, they're not going to know how low I'm really
When
going.
I'm here, it's all a game.
I'm going down.
Because I'm all baby all the other time.
Well, babies are
Good to
cool.
be a dad, though, isn't it?
It's kind. I want another baby. Don't tell Joe.
I'm not ready.
Well,
You'll figure it out.
Okay, here we go. What? Okay, so you guys make your way to the processing plant outside of Chicago. The inside of this facility, as you're about to enter the atmosphere, you hear the same countdown clock. 5, 5, 5,
Smack
4, 3, 2, 1 as you come into the atmosphere. The inside of this facility is in stark contrast to the outside where you touch down. Outside, hordes of vacui surround the building, being attracted by loudspeakers playing constant loop of Frank Sinatra. The dust outside is thick in the air, and the sky is a rust-color haze. In the distance, the derelict ruins of Chicago's skyline stand like indifferent sentinels, witnessing the last attempts of human folly. Once you enter the facility, and the hangar bay closes overhead, the immaculate, clinical, smooth white walls make it hard to imagine the horror juxtaposed outside. You two stand out like blood stained on a lab coat. So as you walk through the checkpoints, you're asked to relinquish your weapons, assuming that they are on you.
No, I mean, they wouldn't be.
Aside from the checkpoint, few people pay attention to you. The people walking by look up from their tablets. You hear a hum grow in frequency, then a thud, and nothing. A beat or two, some typing, then again hum, thud, nothing. Walking down the hall, you see station after station of lab coat desk jockeys looking through windows and typing. People walk up and down on their tablets, clicking shoes over the ostinato hum, thud. Hum, thud. In the middle of the facility, a single bonsai sits in a shallow pot, being trimmed by a young, dark-eyed woman.
I kind of trying to meet her eye.
Justin, can you do a roll as you guys walk towards her? Or are you just
Sure.
looking up at her from where you stand at the...
Well, Marcus said that Coraline would recognize me.
Sure.
Or she said I would stick out. Or did he... I forget, did he say that she would come to me or I would come to her?
She would know you. When
That's
she
what
saw
I
you.
thought. Yeah, so I'm trying to meet her eye to be like, am I the one you're supposed to know?
Justin,
I got a 6.
are you looking at anything as you walk by? Are you curious about what's...
I am curious about what the whole thudding thing is about.
As you walk by the first, what looks like a workstation, and you see that they're looking through this window, and the hum, thud, nothing. Type, type, type. Hum, thud, nothing. You realize what's actually taking place here. All the vacui, the hordes of people surrounding this processing plant, are being processed. These lab coats are sitting at these workstations, and through these windows they see a vacui enter a space, maybe a 5x5 room. Vacui kind of haphazardly wander in, obviously coaxed from the outside. The lab technician is typing and looking at the specimen, and 9 times out of 10 you hear the thud. When you hear the thud, a flash occurs. An evisceration of a human. The vacui disappears.
Jesus Christ.
And again, it's repeated and repeated. But as you look, there's a strange occurrence. One of them, you hear the hum and then it stops. And an opening in the room through the window opens, and the vacui stammers into what appears to be a new space. There are, you count maybe hundreds of these stations all along the corridors. The woman makes eye contact with Kaneda. She has a knowing look. She kind of gestures over, but does not leave the bonsai as she trims it. You've yet to see, you've seen 2 trees in your life. Justin. Sorry, what was your character's name again? Javier. You've seen 2 trees. You've seen many in your conversations with your grandma, but in your experience, you've seen 2 trees. It's a pretty rare occurrence.
Yeah.
You've seen a few more. And she's cutting it. She's trimming it.
Well, how does that work? I mean, my abuelo was trying to work on the soil of Earth. It wasn't up to where it should be. I'm whispering this to Kaneda.
I think in order to let the plant grow to its full potential, you need to trim away some of the...
I don't even see how it's possible myself. I mean, are there trees on Earth? I thought that there were no trees. Like it was pretty much barren from the Vacui taking over.
The fact that she's growing something.
Yeah. I'm going to walk over to her, my curiosity taking over, because I know this was something that my abuela studied quite heavily. And I say, excuse me.
Hello. Mark said I would recognize you when I see you.
She looks up. Makes us stand out so well.
Her dark eyes are very intelligent. She looks at both of you. Am I right in assuming Mark sent you? She trims the littlest leaf off. Puts it in her lab coat.
Yes, my name is Kaneda. Marcus is our contact. And I sort of say it half to her, half to Javier.
I'm sorry, how did you come across this tree? It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. The bonsai, it's an art form. Trees are given very little soil and trimmed continuously so that they never grow. It's a rare thing to have some viable soil. It's a miracle that this tree survived. As you can see, there's a lot of money around here, and I think it's beautiful. I wanted it, so I took it. As she cuts another leaf off.
Look, we're here for a job.
Yeah, I know you're here for a job. I know you're here to take the patients to Pontus. Do you know what this entails?
No. And Kaneda, sort of off-put by her I wanted it so I took it mentality, is a bit uncomfortable watching these lives outside this glass window just disintegrate before him, knowing that his wife is possibly one of them. It sort of makes him angry deep down.
Mother Nature needs to be controlled. I mean, she can be very violent. And in the world we're in now, the only way that she'll thrive is if humans guide her. He cuts another leaf off.
Look, we don't need the speech. We're just the people moving what you need moved.
Right. Well, then let me tell you the details. You'll be moving 15 prisoners. I mean, patients. She didn't mean prisoners. I meant patients. This is time sensitive and very dangerous. I saw the ship you came in on. You sure you can do that in that?
Do you have another one?
Unfortunately, no. This brings me to that main point. I said this is time sensitive.
She's fast. I know she don't look it, but she made the castle run in a distance of measurement that's not quite speed.
No, it's more time or speed, not time, or something like that. Well, the cryopods that you have, the 15 of them,
yeah,
they should last about 14 hours. Now, the trip, if I'm right, is that a reclaimer class ship?
It is.
At top speed, you should be able to make it in 9 hours. That should leave enough buffer room that if you need to maneuver to get through the storm that is out there, you should be okay. These patients are worth more than you or I.
What makes them so valuable?
Some of them are from wealthy aristocrats on Pontus. Some of them are scientists that they're hoping they can save parts of their brain. Who knows? The point is, it's well above my pay grade, and as you can see, and she gestures the bonsai, that's saying something.
Look, why... what happens after 15 hours? They melt and just die?
They will no longer be cryogenically stable. When they get there, they'll be too much of a risk to interact with. It's likely that in order to protect Pontus, they will just ask that you sterilize them and get rid of them entirely. And it's very likely, it is the case that when we cryogenically quarantine them, they become unviable after, unless they're brought back in the right manner. So yes, in a manner of speaking, they no longer exist. They will die. It's a long-winded way of saying that.
It's okay.
Javier is standing by the window again. He's been distracted, kind of moving his attention from the tree to the window of people being eviscerated and some getting through. And kind of absentmindedly, he turns to her and says, how much of the human do you think is left in there?
The consciousness of a human?
Yeah. Yeah. Why save some and not others, too?
This is a very existential question. This is for philosophers, not for scientists. I mean, how can you know what is human? Is it because they eat? Do they eat? I mean, they absorb other people, they absorb other organisms, but they don't reproduce any other way. I mean, there's no human in them. There's no wandering on the stars or intellect that we would call a human.
And so so you haven't been paying attention to whether or not there's any traces of their humanity left? No reveries or little things that they do, like try to adjust their glasses or something like that?
None of the humans that come through, none of the Vacui are gesturing in any way that resembles a human. They kind of wander aimlessly, kind of looking almost like an animal, sniffing around, almost looking around the room. And if you were to be in that room with a Vacui, you would not be asking these questions. You would see what they truly are, and that is an abomination. They would tear at your skin in order just to make contact. They would do everything they can to get the microbes and the bacteria onto you to make you one of them.
I understand.
Fair enough. Well, let's load these up and make our way to Pontus then.
So you get back in your ship.
Yeah.
You get to... You look at the page. You did.
I did not.
You're such a liar.
I didn't!
What's the smirk on your
Justin,
face?
you're watching me.
What are you smirking about?
There's a
then?
whole audience. Did anyone see my
I
eyes
wasn't
flick
watching.
down?
Yeah, of course not. No one saw. I saw. I know what I saw.
I can actually show you too, eh?
On your way to the cockpit, do a roll for me, Harlan.
Just fine, but I'm going to show you this while I'm rolling.
Almost like an animal.
Watch my eyes.
Sniffing around, almost looking around the room. And I'm telling you.
Oh, that's too far away.
In order just to make
Justin, you're what?
So you get back in your ship.
Watch.
You get to... You look at the page. You did.
I did not.
What are you smiling about?
I did. It's funny. I don't know. I can't smile. Anyway,
love
what did
how
I
we
even
read
get?
it,
I got
isn't
a natural 20.
Is that what you're smiling about? Maybe.
No, I rolled it just now.
Okay, with a natural 20, something's not right. Your chair is moved. It's not how you left it. On your screen, the files for your jobs are open. It's not how you left this.
I pull up the security camera.
It's not functioning.
What?
It's not like a man.
Hit it.
Okay.
Okay.
There's no security camera.
I'm uncomfortable.
You notice this as you had left the atmosphere, by the way, because that's inconvenient.
No, that's fine. I would still take off and everything.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go back and make a scene. It's a fucking facility.
You get the impression someone's been on your ship.
Yeah, the minute I get up into this space, I have a casual conversation with Javier and just say, yeah, it's going to be a long flight. Let's take our time and take it slow. And then I lock your eyes and I say, I point up.
Right.
And as I reach up, I grab the scanner that I have, a little device scanner. Make sure there's no bugs or anything on the ship. Hey, you don't have one? and I do a quick scan of the ship.
No, it doesn't seem to be any bugs.
We're gonna have 9 hours.
Nope.
Okay, I go through my screen. Have my files been touched? No.
Someone's been looking at them.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, well, we should probably hit the thrusters, no?
Yeah.
Are we doing quantum travel? Is that 9 hours worth of travel, or are we doing? I don't think it's 9 hours.
It's 9 hours to get to
Quantum.
Pontus.
Quantum style.
Quantum.
Is it quantum style?
We can't be attacked
Wow.
in quantum travel.
Pontus
Are you
is
sure
far.
It's quantum?
It's not the same quantum travel.
It's
that you
attack-
Oh,
Attackable
slow
quantum
quantum.
travel.
It's like
That's okay.
whoa.
No, you can't be okay, but you're not going to want to get quantum all the way there because you're going to run into an asteroid.
You
You're
go
going through an
quantum
asteroid.
goes straight through asteroids.
Not this.
That's not how it works in Star
Not
Citizen.
in this game.
Perfect. Okay, that's fine. So we'll set up the coordinates and quantum travel so long as it reaches the edge of the asteroid field. I'll say, okay,
So someone's been on your ship and that's the end of it?
No, I'm gonna just set up the thing and then.
All right, so you're moving
Sure.
towards Pontus.
Arranging quantum travel. I
Yeah.
wink at.
And then I set it up, and then I move to the captain's quarters, and I tell Javier to come with me
And where do you go?
Okay.
to the captain's quarters.
Captain's quarters.
And then I shut the room, and I check under my bed, check in my closet.
You don't seem to find anything in the captain's quarters.
Yeah, and then I tell him, I need to tell you a few things really quick. First and foremost, my contact, Marcus, didn't just give us this job because it's high paying. I was married, and for the past 2 years, my wife has been missing. She went on a job that inadvertently landed on Ash. She was a scientist. Said she found some sort of miracle mushroom that might reinvigorate life as we know it on Earth, and this contact recently found out that she was possibly there in that facility, possibly a Vacui. And she very well could be a cryogenic body that we are transporting right now. So I'm very eager to go check them. However, upon returning to the ship, I noticed that someone had been through my files, which means A, they know that I'm related to one of these cryogenic bodies, and B, they might be following, bugging, or on the ship right now. And as I'm saying this, I'm getting the assault rifle that I bought out of my thing, and I'm handing him the other one.
Okay.
This I keep locked, so they couldn't have gotten in.
No?
Beep, boop, beep, beep. No, they could have?
No, they don't. No,
Yeah.
unless they knew.
Some things I locked.
Yeah, that's definitely locked. That's, you're a safety responsible gun owner.
Yeah. So I'm
Been
going
in
to...
crazier situations before.
Yeah.
I guess I'll get my own gun and we scan the ship, yeah?
We're going to do this. We're going to do EVAs as we go through the ship as well. In case Vacui have gotten out, I want to make sure that we're not covered infected. Additionally, I want to make sure that we check every corner for anything, any hull breaches. And I've just thought of something and forgot. Damn it.
Oh, that's not good. It's probably the answer.
Can I roll leadership?
To remember what was in your brain?
Yeah. It's a 19 for leadership.
Yeah, you remember.
What's a really important thing that I was supposed to do that would be really important to do in a case like
Oh,
this?
yeah. Colin Burkhardt raises a good point, but yeah, I'm going to go
Sabotage.
around and...
That's it. I want
What
to
is
make
it?
sure that we're not, that our quantum drive isn't fucked, our grav isn't about to pop.
yeah,
Cool.
exactly. I'm going to check for any sabotage. If someone's been on here...
That
then
actually
I
was the
tried to
thing.
mess this up. Yeah.
So 19.
Okay, so you're checking for sabotage. I need to know precisely where you're looking and give me rolls.
He's on sabotage, I'm on clearing the ship, and then we're going to end in the cargo bay.
So you have a couple of things, right?
Yeah,
you
I
have
wanna
the
check.
salvage balcony,
Yeah.
salvage processing,
Yeah.
salvage hold.
Yeah.
You have the elevator to those different places, the cargo hold, subdeck, habitation deck, the bridge deck, and the elevator down and leave the ship.
Okay.
You didn't get any of those, probably. But if you pull up like a...
I'm doing it right now. I'm doing the blueprints, and I'm going to send them to on the thing.
Find one that kind of looks like
On
that.
Discord.
Yeah.
Not that those things I was covering were important.
I looked at the thing. I'm the worst.
I'll go check the sub deck.
Yeah.
It's close by.
I mean, it's not technically a submarine, but we treat it as one.
Okay, the subdeck has where you were working prior when you were talking to your abuela, as well as your the drones are housed here.
Right.
Tell me where you're looking, or tell me what you're looking for, and give me a roll.
Well, this is also where the this is where engineering is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm going to first check the most vital systems: the engine, the grav core.
Sure. Give me a roll.
All right. And I realize as I'm down here, I shake my head as I realize that I forgot to replace the drones.
No, I did. I knew you were going to forget.
I got a 6.
It seems to be that the the stuff that's going on in here, like the engine, the gravitation systems, seem to be functioning at optimal capacity.
Hello? Is there anyone down here?
So you hear the hum of the ship and the dripping of oil.
Okay, I'm going to check.
There's a leak. We got an oil leak.
There's always oil dripping. I'm going to check the crew quarters.
Okay.
So I'm going to check with this deck. You went down to the grav, you said?
Yeah, the sub deck.
So you did the lower deck, i.e. the cockpit. Where's the grav in this again?
Sub deck. So it's
there we go.
right
Yeah.
under the middle section.
Yeah, so you did the sub deck. I'm gonna stick on this floor because we're in the captain's quarters and they've already been cleared. I'm gonna go across the hall in the crew quarters. I'm gonna check the airlocks before moving the cargo. swing to the mess hall, check out the habitation deck.
Where's the oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, habitation deck, mess hall, and then I'm gonna swoop around, meet up with you. We'll check the salvage scanning room, basically the bridge, and then we'll end with the cargo.
Okay.
Cryo, right?
So when you're on the habitation deck, you're going through the habitation.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a lot of, vulnerable things here. I mean, this is where you guys live. There's food. This is where you sleep in that time, bathrooms. But you can do a check to see if there's anything here.
Yeah, I enter the room. Are the lights on already?
Nope.
They were off.
Yep.
They're movement based too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna check the closets. I'm gonna check everything. I'm gonna check the bathrooms, the stalls, the cabinets, or whatever they're fucking called.
Okay, give me a roll. I'm gonna give you an asset because you know your ship so well.
I know this shit very well. 12. This is a really big ship for a crew too. It's my baby.
Really big.
As you're walking through the habitation room, one part of it is for your crew. There's bunks.
Mm-hmm. I remember we got stuck in them.
Yes, we did.
And you walk into the room, and you notice that the top bunk of one of the beds is slightly untucked. No one's been sleeping in that bed.
No one's been sleeping in it, but it's untucked?
Yeah. You think that there's someone on top. You can just see some of the blanket hanging down.
I leave.
Okay.
And then I speak to Javier. I say, crew quarters, top bunk. I'm going back in. Meet me there now. And then I enter back in. Silently. Are they sliding doors? They are, aren't they?
Yeah, and the lights come on.
So instead, sorry, I realize that they're sliding doors. So I'm going to exit out, call what's his name, and I'm going to wait for him before entering back in.
I would love it if they were like swing doors.
Yeah.
Like on this.
No,
like,
I forgot if they open
ship.
and stay open, or if they're like, I can't remember them now even.
I think they stay open.
I think they stay open too.
I don't think so. I think it
they're
depends
just
if it's like an EVA
passageways.
door. Depends on the door.
You have to press F to open them.
I think that's for
that's
the
true.
outside doors. But anyways.
Anyway, whatever the case, I'm going to wait for Javier.
Did you press F?
I always press F.
Okay, then the door opens.
I'm going to wait for Javier either way. I'm going to clear it, walk out, call him, and wait. So, is there any movement? Can I see through the door? Is it clear?
Sorry, you're going to clear what?
Clear it, i.e., if someone is on the top bunk, they think that I've cleared it. Coming out, calling him. He's coming up, waiting for him.
Okay, so he gets there.
Oh, perfect. And I say, I noticed something on the top bunk, I think. And I, holster my gun and count down silently, and then rush the room.
Okay, so you rush the room. Blood drips from the top.
Like the cat explodes.
Sarah.
Javier's bed underneath is just soaked with the cat, yeah.
No, I'm going to...
Sarah, that was dark.
I'm just kidding. I'm just going to... Knowing that Javier's going to keep his gun trained on me, I'm going to run in and with one hand reach up and pull the blanket down.
Whoa, don't shoot! You hear a young man's voice.
My helmet light is like blasting him in the face with light as he sits up. What does he look like?
He's blonde. He looks like to be in his...
I shoot him in the head. I'm just kidding.
He looks to be probably 19 or 20.
It's because he's blonde.
Fairly
Say,
thin.
Get off the bunk.
Yeah. I'm getting down.
And I sit him at the end of the bed. We got him there to sit down at the end of the bed. I say, sit on your hands.
Okay.
What's he wearing?
He's wearing a really inexpensive flight suit.
Okay.
And a cape.
No cape. He would
Capes
never
are
be
too
so
cool.
foolish.
It's too cool for him. And I say to him, how'd you get on board?
They wouldn't want me to tell you. I mean, I shouldn't say anything.
How did you get on board?
He looks at you defiantly. Not defiantly,
Javier,
but...
Javier, he's not privy to the 3-question rule, but I think it's important that he knows that I don't ask a question more than 3 times. How did you get on board?
Can you roll for a little bit of an intimidation?
Absolutely.
You're going to want to answer him, brother.
Can you help by saying that?
What happens after 3 questions?
Why don't you not answer me and find out? And I pulled a gun from my holster.
The rest of the crew and I, we followed you here. We were told that you'd be here and that you double-crossed Lachlan. Or you crossed Lachlan.
Well, you
So we were trying to, you ruined his job, so we were going to ruin your next one.
I holstered the guns. I don't fucking care about this. You work for Lachlan?
Well, yeah.
Oh my god.
I just started.
Are there more of you on
so
board?
cool.
Or is it just you?
And I kind of grab him by his like collar and I stand him up and I push him against the lockers hard. Not in like a rough way, just in like a frustrated way. And I say, okay, just where is Lachlan? How many of there are you?
Lachlan's not here. It's just me, I swear.
What the fuck are you talking about? So wait, they left one guy on my ship for what? Who hid in the fucking top bunk?
There's a couple of us. There's 3 of us.
Are they on board or are you waiting?
I don't know if they got off. I was supposed to get off the ship, but you guys came back sooner than we
What
thought.
did you do on the ship? Why did you have to get off?
We're just supposed to mess things up a little, make it harder for you.
What did you mess up?
I didn't do anything. I was looking at your files and I got nothing. I'm
What were the other guys supposed to mess up?
whatever they could. I don't know. We didn't really have a good plan. Lachlan just hired us.
And I looked at Javier and I said, can you watch him? And I walk over to the nearest comms terminal. And I try to hail Lachlan.
Lachlan doesn't answer. He's too far away, right? And like,
It's only proximity based. I can't hail
yeah, you
somebody
can't
from
hail
across the
like
galaxy.
it was.
Can I send him an email?
Unless you have like a direct link like you had with Mark, it's not going to happen.
I come back.
Send him an email. You can send him an email, but it might take a while for him to get it.
Well, I come back to this kid. What's your name?
Samuel.
Samuel, this is not good. This is annoying. This is really fucking annoying, and I hate getting annoyed. And I look to Javier. I don't know. What do you want to do?
Well, we gotta find the others. Otherwise, they can mess up the ship.
All right, should we kill him?
Can we,
Whoa! What do you mean kill me? I didn't do anything. I opened your files.
Yeah. You don't
Well,
understand.
I mean, you are trespassing
He
right
goes
now.
to run.
Does he?
Yeah, because he's afraid. He thinks you're gonna kill him.
I shoot him in the leg.
Oh my god! What are you? I just took this job. What are you doing?
Bam!
It's a stupid job to take. You gotta learn your lesson.
And as he falls down and like blood splatters on the floor, I'm like, "Do not fucking run!" And I
It hurts,
pick
it
him
hurts,
up
it
and I put him
hurts.
against
Am I
the
gonna-
wall.
Help me.
Help you? What are you talking about? You snuck in on my ship. You just admitted that you tried to sabotage our systems, and then you tried to run on a ship. Where were you going?
I don't know. Sam's not very bright.
Sam, you really aren't. And I again turn to Javier and I say, I'm not in the mindset for this. I don't know if Sarah is in one of those cryogenic
Don't waste any more bullets. You're coming with me. And so I take him and I bring him towards the comms.
Can you find out if he knows anything? I want to check the cargo bay.
Okay, be careful.
You were warned about interacting with the Vacui, and that you were heavily told to not interact with the patients. But it's the same thing, like doctors don't want you to mess around.
Yeah, I'm not going to open them necessarily.
Sure.
I want to check them to see. So now that he's got the front of the ship with my pistol reholstered, my helmet light off, and my assault rifle back in, and knowing they're 2 other people, I'm going to clear the remainder of the ship.
So you make your way through, where you're going to go through first? The cargo bay, we'll say?
Yeah, I'm going to go lowest point, salvage hold, and then...
So the cargo bay is where we are holding the Vacui.
Yeah.
Outside cargo bay 6, there's a flashing light.
I just got this job. This is the worst first day ever.
It's bleeding out.
Who runs? Where was he going to run?
I don't know. Just thought you were going to kill him right there.
I wanted to.
Yeah, well, he might die anyways.
No, he won't. Give him a fucking
He's
medipen.
got 15 or 9 hours before he
He's
gets a
got-
Medipen. There you go. You're good. How many medipens work?
That way.
Okay. You get to cargo bay 6 light flashes. Decompression, because it's been problematic since the first year. Maybe stick
Right.
So you open the door without taking heed of the warning, and a light mist rolls out through the door. It's dark in the room as you walk in. Lights flicker on, and you see what looks to be these human-sized boxes. They are glass-topped with what looks to be like a panel on the side. Very clean, similar technology that you saw in the processing plant. And there's 15 of them.
I move through each slowly, sort of carving the frost off the glass on top and looking within.
So you're looking inside them?
An echo. Why are we getting an echo?
That's weird.
Oh. There we go. I don't know why that... Sometimes that happens.
Maybe I hit something.
Maybe. I sort of carve the frost off each glass, and I'm looking for Sarah, obviously, but I want to see if I recognize anybody.
You don't recognize the first couple. There's one that you think it reminds you very similar to a notable politician. Looks could be a brother or something like that. Do a roll for
if I recognize my wife. 14.
Just as you're going to the fourth one, you hear some shuffling behind you, and a man swings a lead pipe towards you. You hear it ready, and you sidestep it in time.
Perfect.
And then he sees that you have a gun,
and I fire at him.
Okay, roll.
Hands down. This fucker's dead.
You shoot him.
Just
where do you shoot him?
In the chest and head.
He drops.
Perfect.
Dead.
And I walk over to him and kind of nudge him with my foot.
You recognize him. He's someone that you've seen again in the circles that you run. A reclaimer.
And I turn on my helmet light and I sort of scan the corners of this room.
You don't see anything.
Can I do a roll, or there's nothing in there?
There's nothing in there.
Perfect. I bend down. I sling the rifle over my shoulder, bend down, and I search his body.
You find that he actually has some tools on him.
Yeah.
And it appears that he kind of like wire cutters, different like a arc welder type thing to interfere with these cryogenically frozen pods.
And I buzz Javier and I say, "Have you gotten anything from that kid yet?"
Ooh, sorry, it's been a long day. No, I was gonna do an announcement. I heard some gunfire. You all right? I think you are.
Would you have heard gunfire? You wouldn't have heard gunfire on the ship. I want to use this to our advantage because I don't want the kid to know that there's someone else on here. I want to see if you can get information from him. I don't think you would.
Would I hear gunfire?
Not with the hum of especially the way the ship is laid out. So
because
far
it's
away.
Probably a really secure
loud
location.
ship too.
Yeah.
And it's space. Well,
yeah.
But it's not space.
What I want to do is I'm telling you, I want to, because I'm just in your earpiece, and I want to be like, ask the kid if there's anyone else on board. I just killed another guy.
Haven't seen anybody else. I got him here. I was thinking about doing an announcement with him, but
no, I mean, ask the kid if there's anyone else on board. See if he's telling the truth, because there's obviously someone else here that I just killed. See how trustworthy this kid can be.
All right, give me a second. Is there anybody else on this ship? You said you weren't sure if people got on, but is there anybody else?
I don't know. There was 3 of us.
Come on, tell me the truth.
I'm telling the truth. Don't shoot me again.
Did you
please.
walk in the door at the same time?
All 3 of us got on. I was supposed to get off. I didn't. I don't know about the others. You guys came back way faster than we thought you would.
Chances are there's still 2 more on the ship. Because I don't know if you killed anybody.
All right. I'm going to clear the cargo bay for sure, and then I'm going to lock it behind me.
What do you mean by clearing the cargo bay?
I'm going to walk in each corner and make sure there's no one in here.
Swiffer? You don't see anybody else.
Okay. And I'll come back for Sarah, because there's no sense in letting this guy go. I lock the door, and I put a passcode on it. I'm sure you can, lock. And if I can, I would have bought it. I mean, as a salvage person...
You can lock rooms in your own ship.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, to me, even if I can't, the first thing I would have done...
Which makes you wonder why you didn't lock it when you left, but we'll say you can lock it now.
No.
You just didn't lock it because you trusted it.
No. Here's a retcon. I left it unlocked because they were loading the fucking cargo on.
Right, you needed it.
I would have locked the cockpit, but I'm not going to worry about that.
Okay.
And my files would probably have...
What does retcon mean? Is there it's a short for something, right?
You know what's funny? I asked the same thing to Jo because she uses it all the time, and she told me, and I forgot.
It must be retroactive consideration.
She told me.
Retroactive
If she was
consideration.
here, she would know.
I bet retro is.
I don't think so. I
Retroactive.
think retcon is the word.
It's got to be retroactive.
Justin, are you googling it?
Retroactive continuity.
No, that is it.
Retroactive continuity is a literary device in which established facts in a fictional world are adjusted, ignored, or contradicted by a subsequently published work which breaks continuity with the former.
Perfect. Okay, anyway, so there we go. Retroactive continuity. I would have left it unlocked because of that. I'm going to lock the cargo, and I'm going to check the other two, the salvage hold and that upper deck. He's on that fucking upper deck. I know, it's going to be a battle.
Good call locking the cargo, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Good call. Okay, so you get up to the upper deck.
Yeah. Where the poop is.
Nothing's there.
And the lower deck? I can see from the upper deck?
The subdeck?
Yes. No, not the subdeck.
Javier was.
No. The other hold. Oh, they're not on this map, the holds.
No, it's the wrong map.
Yeah, but it's the right map, but the holds aren't on here.
It's actually here.
Oh yeah, there it is. So there's 3 holds here. Oh, there's... What the hell is the top thing?
The top one is the salvage balcony.
The balconies I checked.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's below? There's 2 cargo holds.
Salvage processing and
Yeah.
salvage hold.
Okay, so I've checked the cargo hold. So I've checked the balcony. I'm going to check the salvage processing and salvage
Any
hold.
rules for both those?
Oh, shit. I'm in high tactical mode because I know there's a third guy.
How do you know?
Because the guy told
He
me.
said the 3 of them got on, and they should have got off.
I'm going with the expectation and intention that there's a third guy. Whether
Assume
there is
the
or not,
worst.
I'm going to fire at every shadow.
Just put holes in your ship.
Well, I mean, it's an energy rifle, so
Yeah,
it's not.
you are secure in the feeling that there's no one in the salvage balcony. Is that where you were?
I first cleared the balcony. You said I cleared it
Yep.
already. So the salvage hold
Or the salvage hold.
and the salvage processing.
Or the salvage processing.
There's no one. Damn. I was hoping I would like push a guy into salvage processing and turn it on.
That happens, okay? But there was then all the numbers I said before were just one more.
Totally perfect. Excellent. And I tell him, I say, ship's clear. I mean, so far as I can tell, there's nowhere else.
Well,
I know
get
this
back
ship.
here. We gotta do this run.
Is there anywhere else that on the ship he could be that we didn't check?
No, you guys all checked all of the parts of the ship.
Right? Are you just saying that?
No, you definitely
Linen
checked
closet.
Good.
You checked all the parts.
Is he on the outside of the ship? No, we're going way too fast for that. You know what? I'm coming back, and I'm gonna release a drone, and I'm gonna go around the outside of the ship.
With the drone.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I got cameras on it. I mean, the turrets also have cameras, and I can switch between each of the turrets and just do it a 360.
Okay. When you go with the drone, you find that there's a cutlass who's actually attached to your ship.
Motherfucker.
It hasn't left.
Perfect. Where's the nearest access point to it? Whereabouts on the ship is it?
So it's actually underneath, because you guys would have come in through the back entrance.
Yeah,
We'll say that it's actually attached underneath.
like here.
Yeah. So there's an elevator here. So that'd be the nearest access point. So you hear that there's an elevator there?
Perfect. Yeah. So I'm gonna lock down all the elevators first. I'm gonna lock down the outside of the ship,
Okay.
knowing that this guy's not on it, and knowing that there's a cutlass on it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna come back up to the bridge and tell Javier that and say, "What did you guys arrive in, kid?"
It was a cutlass black. It was I don't know if you know cutlass. They're pretty awesome.
Yeah, I know cutlass. What was your mission? You were to get on board
And sabotage
and then leave.
and just leave. Yeah. And I didn't, and now I'm gonna die.
I don't know if you're gonna die, and I walk over to the turrets. I don't hold up much hope for your friend, and I power on the top turret.
Top turret. You okay?
Oh, the under turret. Sorry, the
Okay.
one I picked.
Is there a turret underneath?
Yeah, there's turrets on it.
Boy, that's
there's
a
like
really
6
bad place
turrets.
to
all
park.
over.
Okay. Yep.
The only place that there's not turrets would be the very back. That
So
flat.
that's where I should have put it.
Well.
Yeah. Okay.
I kind of picture the guy in the cockpit, like, yeah, and the turret's like.
Okay. Do you hail the other ship?
I mean, it's not Lachlan, not Lockbeard.
Lachlan?
I asked the kid before I turned the turret. Was it Lachlan you brought here? Lockbeard?
No, he was derelict in his crucible.
Yeah, I turned to Javier and say, there's one on the underbelly. Should we just blow it out of the water?
Why does it want to stay with us?
They want to sabotage us any way they know how.
Keep going.
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I'm happy to keep going. It's just that I know it's getting late.
How are you feeling, Justin, time-wise?
I'm feeling. I'm fading.
Okay,
Yeah.
so why don't we do...
I'm going to blow it up.
Yeah, okay. The shields aren't even up. It's trying to be as incognito as possible. The ship explodes and peels off the body of the reclaimer.
And then I stop the reclaimer and salvage it.
And your salvage hold is now full.
Nice. Gah!
You guys eventually pull out of quantum as you're getting closer to the expected asteroid storm. And things get a little bit more complicated when you're there. As you've come out of...
I do check if Sarah's in the cryogenic hold, by the way.
As you go into the hold, the doors open, the same mist rolls out. And you're going from one cryopod to the next. You see people of all ages, young people, even like 12 years old and younger. There's it's not until you get to the 7th pod and something slows you as you get to that pod. You feel that a sense as you scrape the ice off the front. You see a face, still beautiful, with a hue of rust. And Sarah looks out at you, asleep, frozen, as you turn around to see 2 pods opening up behind you.
Oh, fuck. I run out of the room and lock the door.
We'll end it there for now.
End it there?
Yeah, because I think we got a ways to go, and I think if we do another half sometime...
Let's do it right. I'm happy with that. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Horror Vacui Part 1 now. Hey! Yeah, we took significantly longer to get started. Well, next time we know what to do. Just bring you over here.
Yeah, exactly. Finished off.
Chris, that was such a great game. Guys, let's give it one more. How'd you feel coming back?
It was fun.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's nice to know that I'm heard the whole time, too.
I know.
That's an experience I'm not used to.
Me neither, but for other
What?
reasons.
What'd you say?
I'm really happy you came back. I'm really happy you drove over here.
Yeah, it was a good decision.
Yeah, it was really cute too. Justin's, I think, a bit jealous.
Next time we'll do all 3 of us here.
Cute.
Yeah. Should I drive over now and then we'll do part
Finish
2?
it.
When I get
Let's
ready?
just say goodbye with you over here. We'll wait half an hour.
All right.
Talk for it.
What'd you guys vamp about? What'd you talk about? I assume it was about me. Bad things. That's how I always assume things go. As soon as I leave the room, it's like...
You know, when
about
you
maple
came
syrup?
on, you know what the first comments were?
What?
Whenever I see a Chris game, I always want to give him a hug. What kind of fucking Eeyore shit are you
You know what the best
promoting?
part about the rest of the people is... Eeyore was like clinically depressed, but they invite him to everything.
But I'm just saying, like, you know... Eeyore shit. No, that was a lot of fun. You did a great job. You did a really great job.
that
I'm
was an
really
awesome
happy to do it. Are you coming to BreakUpCon this weekend?
This weekend?
Yeah, no, you're not.
No. What, is it downtown?
Yeah.
Is it expensive?
Rob's doing it. You could probably come for free.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I'm not going. I'm not paying for it. I'm going for free. I'm running games. Oh, that's what we talked about. I talked about my...
Justin, are you going?
Nope, I'm not going.
He's too busy for me.
You need better friends.
Well, let me tell you. I got the best friends. I got the best of friends. Having so much fun together. Whether you're sucking dick.
That's not how it goes.
Oh, James Taylor.
I was like,
That's not even the same friend.
The Fox and the Hound.
That's not the same song. It's not James
Fox and the
Taylor.
Hound.
You're thinking of
I always thought it
You
was James
Got
Taylor.
a Friend.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
When you're
I always thought that
down
the Fox and the Hound was James Taylor,
town.
but then I learned that it wasn't.
And you need a help. I was a little flat there. A little bit.
It's a lot.
I'm here and you're here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. It is, of course, Endgame post.
Is that the thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
And the game post.
MVP?
Colin Burkhart.
Colin Burkhart, you win.
Colin.
No, we're not. We're not doing part 2 next week. We are back with Call of Cthulhu, episode 7. Well, I don't know. Do you want to do part 2 next week? Well, Joe's back and Rob's back, so I don't know.
So I get the shaft.
Well, you get a shaft.
But I could get, I could have Joe come in as like a
Guess
Sam. Joe could be Samuel.
Well, you know what?
Wounded in the leg.
That'd be pretty funny. She'd do that good. Justin is going on vacation at the end of this month.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we're going to have a few games. Maybe we should swap it out. Maybe you should, maybe Joe should play Javier. Or depending on how you take the story, maybe Joe should play Sarah or one of the monsters or something. I don't know what the story's
I have to rewrite the whole
I have no idea. So yeah, she could play Sam and Javier could
It's
be
weird
quiet.
though, because like I have probably like 45 minutes more of the game.
Well, now you have to pad it out with another
I know.
45. Wait, an hour and a half. Wait, how long are your streams? An hour and 15?
3 hours.
Wait, 2 hours and 15.
Are we doing the math?
Yeah, I'm not good at that. You can pad that. Hey, this is a rich tapestry. You have stuff here.
I feel I can do better. I feel like
No.
do more. I can do more, not better.
I was gonna say you did great. You did perfect.
It's
Or
good
trader
enough for a GM, I guess.
You're really not coming to Breakout Con? I think I might sit in on an AL game. And
Is it Friday and Saturday, or is it Saturday only?
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Although I'm not going Sunday.
Are you doing AL? You're gonna level up without us?
No, because we're playing AL on Sunday.
I know. Very excited.
And
I'm
you're
gonna
coming.
re-roll my character as a gnome priest.
Don't do it. I love your character.
2 healers.
Except for I think I'm gonna be punished for what I did.
And
last
Justin, you're gone next
It's
weekend,
not
aren't
just
you?
in this. I think that Joe is going to punish me for
What's that?
what I did to that Smurf Nevlin or that dwarven thing. I think that was a bad decision. I
did
shouldn't
you
have
do?
Well,
slept
that
on
was kind of a group
prisoner?
decision.
You know the other prisoner who was in the.
Oh, she's not going to punish you for that.
Oh, I
Punching
know.
the dwarf?
She's
She
like,
doesn't
why
care.
did you do that? And I'm like, I don't know. I take it back.
No, she's not going to punish you for that. She doesn't care.
No, she's gonna follow the game. I think we made a bad decision.
Oh, versus the Durgar.
Yeah, I like.
And
beat him
Galvis,
needlessly.
what's it called? Galvestug?
We made an enemy of an
Galvestug?
arms dealer.
Gracklestug.
Gracklestug.
Yeah, we made an enemy of an arms dealer. So that's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't smart, but you know what? They all the NPCs.
It came from a
are
place of love, though.
Definitely. Oh, you can see me on camera now when I do that. And Justin, you're gone next weekend, aren't you? You're going to
Yes, I'm going to be in Austin, Texas.
for Dragon? No. Why are you in
No,
Austin?
for recording. I'm doing a musical collaboration for an audiobook.
Here's something weird.
Oh,
that
awesome.
dislike was there before the stream even started. I really hope that one person that you like
Pissed off years ago.
is still coming around
They
for
are.
the one dislike.
Some big fat
That's
sweaty.
that is commitment.
Some
If you're
fat,
out there,
sweaty-
thank you.
Yeah.
I watched the whole stream and I hated every second of it.
That's fine.
I just don't get the idea behind disliking something before it even starts. It's like
I honestly don't get the idea of disliking something.
In general?
Well, I dislike things. Like I don't like.
oh, listen.
But why publicly say like
It's so much easier to
I
be
don't
negative.
like this, and I need people to see that one person.
Tiny.
sometimes
Dicks.
it's helpful because if I'm
I'll
gonna
get it
like
now.
commit to watching a video and I see
Micro
that it's got
teeth.
50-50 dislikes to likes.
Yeah, but that's more just because it's kind of cool to be weird and be like,
There are certain videos that are like, oh, this is like off, color and they're not great, and a couple things. But I wouldn't actually take the time to dislike it.
I mean, you bring up a good point. If it was like against my core beliefs, if some guy was like fucking and he's like all racist and shit,
Would
yeah.
you take the time to dislike it?
I mean, it doesn't take that much time. Yeah, I probably would dislike it.
Does it actually help to clean up the internet?
No, but I don't
No.
do things because I think they're helpful. I do them because it feels good.
But do you think that matters to that person? Like, don't they want the dislikes?
No, because I don't want the dislikes, and we said a bunch of weird shit,
I don't
shaky
care
shit.
about the dislike. Yeah.
I think what I'm now countering my own point was that I don't get the pressure. I don't get the idea of disliking, and then I guess I don't get the idea of disliking us because
Why would anyone?
no, I get the idea of disliking us. I don't get the idea of disliking us, i.e., pressing the down
Pressing the
button.
button.
If you're like, ooh, I don't like that Harlan guy, I totally sympathize with that. But the idea of being like, this video, no. To me, that I don't get, because to me, there's no like. What are you teaching? What are we taking away?
I try to be better every time I see those, though. So it's to grow.
Is that why you're so good?
it's to make us better.
Then I'm happy I disliked the videos.
It was him.
Twist, ballsack, twist.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for disliking the video. I hope you have a wonderful night and a great
Solstice?
winter solstice.
It's a long time
Have
away.
a great... You know, they have a winter solstice, but they don't have a...
I hope you say fall solstice or something stupid.
They don't have a night solstice.
That's true.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us. As my very good friend Chris always likes to say,
We'll see you around the table.
we'll see you around the table, guys. Good night.